Hi, I'm Stormy. Please like and subscribe. I lived with my parents in a small city in the States. My parents loved me loads, and I was living a simple, peaceful life until I discovered something strange about me on my 5th birthday. When I was about to thank the guests after the party, I felt quite nervous with everyone staring at me. Thank you all for coming to my birthday. What a fumble. That's the first time I realized I stutter in nervous situations. Everyone around me laughed, and I just ran away. I sat by the pool, crying when a girl my age with glasses came and sat down near me.
Hey, I'm Nora. We just moved here. I know speeches suck. Yuck. I hate them too.
She wiped my tears, and I instantly put my arm around her. It felt like we were destined to be friends. Mommy takes me to the park every night. Want to come along? It'll be fun! And so, we met at the park every evening, and soon we became best friends. One such day, I saw another girl with Nora. As I approached them, the girl started laughing.
Don't tell me you're friends with her! Isn't she the dummy who said thank you at her birthday party?
Yeah, I did. But what's your problem?
You're such a stupid combo, Stormy! The dummy and no eyes Nora!
Ha 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 ha! She laughed and pulled Nora's glasses. Nora reached out for them, but the girl threw them on the ground and stomped on them. I lost it! I kicked her hard, and she fell on her butt. How dare you mess with my friend?
Your friend? She's my sister, you moron! Get lost!
What? Turned out she was Nora's twin sister, Leah. She gave Nora a death stare and ran to complain to her mom. She can't be your sister, Nora. She's awful.
Yeah, she is. That's why I didn't introduce her to you before. We just never get along. But thanks for standing up for me.
Days passed, and we all started going to the same school. Whenever Leah or anybody bullied me or Nora, we always stood up for each other. Life was good, until one day in the 6th grade, Nora told me the saddest news.
Their family was moving to New York City. I don't want to go, but my dad's got some big job there and he can't miss it. I'm so sorry.
She hugged me, and we both burst into tears while Leah mocked and laughed at us. And that's the last day we all met. I missed Nora so much that I didn't even attend school for days. But then, Mom and Dad encouraged me. Slowly, I started focusing more on my studies and became a school topper. But when I was in high school, my parents came up with a strange plan. They wanted me to move in with my aunt in New York for a better education. I wasn't so happy to leave them, but I agreed. When I reached New York, Aunt was so pleased to have me. She took me shopping around the city and got me all ready for my new school. Stepping into the big school, I felt like I was in a movie. I walked straight up to my class in the 9th grade, but almost all the seats were taken. I was gazing around when suddenly a girl waved at me. Me?
Yeah, come on up. Here's a seat.
That was so sweet. I walked near her, but then I noticed from her smile, she's someone I knew. OMG. Nora, is that you? You look amazing, and you got contacts.
I know. Gotta make some changes.
And you're beautiful as ever, too. We shouted in excitement while the whole class stared at us like crazy. Nora took me out on a tour around the school, and we bumped into Leah.
Oh God, you again! How many more losers can a class of grade 9 hold?
And she had a set of minions here too around her. Seems like she hadn't changed one bit. Well, maybe you can leave and never come back so the class will be one loser less. Nora and I laughed and high-fived. Leah looked like she was about to attack me, but some teacher walked by just then and I escaped. Later that day at lunch, I sat down with Nora at a table, and the next minute, 2 girls brought us food as if in a restaurant.
Hey, don't you know I'm on a diet? Take this burger back and get me a salad and... Oh, one for Stormy too.
No, really, it's fine. I can get my own lunch. Thanks.
Hey, why? Easy girl, see, she's already going. Now chop chop.
Whoa! I was surprised to see she was a big shot in the school with her own set of minions. As we were eating, Leah was sitting a few tables away, and I saw a strange grin on Nora's face.
Now watch the show.
Saying that, she walked straight to Leah with a bottle of water. She silently poured the whole bottle onto her food. Leah snapped and pushed her hard. Nora fell down with a scream.
Ah! Look guys, she slapped me and pushed me down for no reason. Do you want such a mean girl to be your president?
Stop embarrassing yourself, Nora! You're going to lose no matter what you try!
We'll see about that.
was happening? When she came back to her seat, I asked Nora, what was all that about Nora, and I saw that you started it. That wasn't very nice of you.
Why? I told you. You got to change to fit into the world or you'll lose. Well, here I mean the school president election. I'm running and so is Leah, and I have to beat her butt.
I wasn't liking her cheap winning tactics, but she was my friend. And when she asked me to help prepare posters for her campaign, I did. The day before the election, the candidates had to give their final speech in front of all the students, and the second student had to speak in favor of each candidate too. I was praying Nora wouldn't look up to me, but she did, and I really had to step up. I started off confidently, but suddenly I realized how many pairs of eyes were on me, and I lost my nerve. So yeah, what I'm trying to say is vote for no. No, Nora! And the whole school ended up shouting in chorus.
No, Nora!
Nora looked furiously at me and stormed off. I called her out, but she didn't stop. Gosh, I'd messed up, but I hadn't done it on purpose. She shouldn't have asked me. And when the election results were announced, Leah was declared the winner. I knew Nora would be really mad, but I had no idea what she'd do next. Just as the previous president was putting the president badge on Leah, Nora came charging straight at her onto the stage and knocked Leah over. She ripped the badge right off her shirt. I jumped onto the stage to stop her, but just then, she pulled Leah's hair and it came off. OMG, it was a wig! Everyone looked stunned to see Leah hairless. Nora just stood there grinning, while Leah looked around horrified.
I thought you'd at least keep this promise, Nora. You suck!
She burst into tears and ran off. As Nora walked off the stage, I went after her and grabbed her arm. Are you crazy, Nora? How could you do something so awful to your own sister? Who are you? What have you become?
Who are you to ask me that, you stuttering moron? You cost me the election too.
She pushed me so hard that I hit the wall. I lost it. I attacked her back, and it was a big fight that landed both in detention. But at least I was clear about something now. I was not going to be friends with her ever again. I didn't even know who she was anymore. I felt bad for Leah, but she didn't show up for days, and Nora was just going out of control. She made the whole class sign a petition for a re-election and sent it to the principal. Worse, she used Leah's absence and told everyone she was the acting president.
So class, today, we're all going to skip the math test and go watch the soccer team's rehearsals. They're amazing!
We're not listening to you, Nora. You can go if you want, but we'll be right here in class.
You always were such a loser nerd, Stormy. Don't talk back to your president. You are skipping math. Everyone will. Because I said so.
That was insane. And there was no way I was going to listen to her. I stayed back in class, and I was glad at least some of the other kids did too. Weeks passed, and finally Leah showed up for the exams. But she wasn't the same girl anymore. She sat in the last seat in class and didn't talk to anyone the whole day. I decided to go talk to her. When I went to her at lunch, she immediately stood up and started walking away. Hey, wait up! You don't have to run away from anyone. If you start running, you'll have to do that your whole life. Just stop. And she did. She came back and sat down next to me for lunch, and I saw Nora and her gang staring at us from afar. But I couldn't care less. I shared my lunch with Leah, and slowly, she started getting comfortable. She told me she got a strange condition called alopecia a year ago, which made her lose most of her hair. She even apologized for being so mean towards me.
You know, all these years, I thought being mean to people says you're tough and strong. The way I treated you and Nora till now, I think I deserve this shame.
No, you didn't deserve it, Leah. It was cruel. But I'm glad you realized your mistakes, and I hope this means we can be friends now. We started hanging out in school, and even at my place to study together. And she was actually quite easy to get along with. We aced the exams, and I was really looking forward to junior prom, but Leah seemed reluctant.
Actually, I don't think junior prom is a good idea, but you should go. It's just me.
Oh, come on, Leah. You're the president now.
You mean the hairless president? If only it was a Halloween party. You could come as Voldemort and win. Ha ha ha.
Shut up, Nora. There's a big difference between being hairless and heartless. You should be more worried about how ugly you are on the inside.
How come you don't stutter at all when you raise your voice at me, Stormy? Was it a plan to make me lose the election then?
Think whatever you want to. I don't care. See you at prom. Leah and I walked out. I took her shopping that evening, and we got some beautiful dresses for the big eve. And I bought something that shocked Leah, a bald wig. This is gonna complement my costume. I'm gonna show everyone. Being hairless is a fashion in itself. How about you? She cried and hugged me tight. I held Leah's hand tight and took her to prom. Beautifully hairless. Some gossiped, many were speechless. When I saw my friend smiling with confidence, that made me happy. Nora mocked us and laughed, but no one backed her up.
Hey, knock it off, Nora. Leah looks lovely, and it's brave of her to come like this.
Yeah, and we all like Stormy too. She's really nice.
Nora lost her mind and picked up some juice glasses to fling at us. But just then, the principal happened to walk by, and the juice went straight in her face. She immediately kicked Nora out of the event. That felt like a victory. Just like that, we were at the end of high school. We got some great news. Leah and I got placed in the same university on scholarship. The last day at school, I walked into the restroom to find Nora sitting in a corner, bawling like a baby. Hey, Nora, you okay? What happened?
Ugh, you of all people, why are you here? Just leave me alone.
Sure I will. Right after you tell me what's wrong with you.
What do you want to know, huh? That I'm a real loser? Fine. I'm dumb and stupid and I failed all my exams and I won't graduate from high school this year and I've lost all my popularity and everybody hates me. Happy to hear that, Stormy.
Why would that make me happy, Nora? We used to be best friends and I miss that person. But maybe this is a chance for you to set things right before you leave this place. Be nicer to your new classmates and they won't hate you. You said you have to change to fit in, and I guess you need to change into the better, kinder version of yourself now. I know you can. She looked at me silently as I gently patted her on the shoulder, and then I walked away. Hey friends, I'm Greta from New York. Please like and subscribe. I was born in a small town to a single mom who always celebrated my interests and made sure I felt valued since I was a little girl. I've always loved singing and performing, and Mom always supported me. When I was 8, I participated in my school's talent show with a singing act. I was so excited. But when I got on stage, the nerves hit me and I started shaking like a tree in the wind. And when I looked out into the audience and saw my mom smiling up at me, I knew I could face my fears and give a great performance.
Don't worry, honey. You've got this.
Okay? Yeah.
You're my honey bun.
I used to get some stage fright when I was younger. I loved singing more than anything in the world, but sometimes my nerves got the best of me. All of that went away after my friends told me how good I was.
You're like so talented.
Really?
Totally. I wish I could sing like you.
With my mom and friends supporting me, I felt unstoppable. So when all that was taken away, it was, well, difficult. When I was 13, I got the opportunity to audition for a prestigious performing arts high school called Cole House. I came in prepared with my very favorite song.
You're my honey bun, sugar plum, pumpy.
Incredible. Superbly performed.
It had been my dream ever since I was 8 to attend. So I was thrilled when they offered me a spot the following fall semester. Cole House was all the way in New York City. I'd only ever been there once to see the Phantom of the Opera on Broadway, so the idea of going there to live was intimidating. It was a boarding school, so I would be away from home for the first time in my life. My home friends wouldn't be joining me. They were all staying back to start regular high school in her hometown, but they were so excited for me.
Go get them, Greta.
We can't wait for you to take NYC by storm.
It would also be the first time my mom and I lived apart. Though I hated the idea of being away from her, I knew I needed to follow my dreams. And of course, my mom was super supportive.
I'm so proud of you, honey.
She dropped me off at the train station and waved goodbye.
See you in a few months, my Broadway star.
As soon as I stepped foot in Manhattan, all sorts of doubts started creeping in. What if I don't make any friends? I'm not a good enough singer for performing arts high school. Maybe I should just go back home. My fears just got bigger and louder when I stepped foot in my new school. It was gorgeous, with high vaulted ceilings and brightly painted classrooms. Just as I was looking up at the beautiful stained glass windows, I was suddenly shot to the ground by a pretty girl.
Oh, sorry I didn't see you there.
How rude. Could she tell I was out of place here? I didn't have too much time to think about it because my first class started in 2 minutes. I ran down the hallway just in time for the bell to ring and sat down in the last open chair right across from the girl who shoved me. Just my luck.
I see you've met Lena. She's a pill.
A boy sitting right next to me with curly hair and a cute smile put out his hand.
Hi, I'm Daryl.
I'm Greta. Nice to meet you.
You must be new here.
Was it so obvious? It was like I had a sign on my forehead screaming, "New girl." Daryl must have noticed my concern.
I just haven't seen you around here. Oh, I would have noticed a pretty girl like you.
Yeah, I just moved here from Scaniatolis.
Never heard of it.
It's a tiny town. I really love it there, but I couldn't miss the opportunity to go to school here.
Cole House is pretty incredible, and this is my favorite class. Mrs. Larimer is the bomb.
Just then, a tall woman with a long braid and huge brown glasses entered the room.
Hello, class. I see some familiar faces. I see some shiny new faces. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Mrs. Larimer, and this is Singing for the Stage.
I looked around the classroom and saw a lot of smiling, eager faces. It seems like a lot of people really liked Mrs. Larimer.
I hear we have a new student in school this year. Class, let's give a big Cole House welcome to Greta.
Hi, Greta.
Nice to meet you.
Just then, Lena chimed in.
Can't wait to hear you sing.
I felt like she was taunting me, like she felt she was better than me. What was this girl's problem? Before I could think about it too much, Mrs. Larimer was addressing the class.
Who's ready to present their audition cut?
All of a sudden, every student reached into their backpack and pulled out binders full of sheet music. I looked down into my backpack. There was nothing but a pencil box, a notebook, and a bagged lunch in there.
Did you not bring your music book?
I couldn't believe Lena was calling me out in front of all these people. I just wanted to blend into the brightly colored wallpaper.
Don't worry, it's your first day. No one expects you to be ready to perform.
Greta, it's your first day, so we'll give you some time to settle and you can perform for us next week.
Thanks, Mrs. Larimer. I shot a look at Lena so she would get the picture to just leave me alone. She caught my eye and smiled. What? Why would she tease me and then smile? What kind of mind games was she playing? Still holding my gaze, Lena's hand shot up in the air.
I'm ready, Mrs. Larimer.
Great, Lena, you have the floor.
Lena gave the pianist her sheet music and started singing. I wanted to hate it, but she had an unmistakably gorgeous voice. When she finished singing, the class applauded.
Great job, Lena. I can tell you've been keeping up with your vocal exercises this summer.
Mrs. Larimer gave Lena some constructive criticism, but I was distracted. I felt like screaming. Yeah, she has a beautiful voice, but that doesn't give her an excuse to be rude. But I just kept it bottled up inside, sitting politely.
Who would like to go next?
I wondered how anyone could feel confident following such a great performance. I would certainly be intimidated singing after Lena. I was wary of her, but there was no denying that she was a beautiful singer. Before I had too long to think about it, Daryl was standing up from his chair.
I'll go, Mrs. Larimer.
Daryl handed his sheet music to the pianist and sang a little bit to relay the tempo of his song. Even just hearing that much, I could tell Daryl was good, really good. The pianist nodded, and Daryl took his place in the center of the classroom. He looked at me and winked. I swear I turned bright red. Did everyone see that? Lena looked back at me, scowling. Daryl began his song. It was incredible. He sang with such confidence. The vibrations of his voice pulsated, making it feel like the room itself was breathing. I looked around, and I could tell everyone else was enjoying themselves as well. Everyone, that is, except Lena.
Well done, Daryl. That song really suits you.
Thanks, Mrs. Larimer.
Mrs. Larimer gave Daryl some adjustments and had him sing parts of the song over again. If this is what my new school was going to be like, just listening to cute boys sing, I had nothing to be worried about. I was starting to like it here. That evening, I was settling into my new bedroom in the dorms. As I was rounding the corner with some of my favorite snacks from the corner store, I heard a familiar voice.
Hi, Greta.
I couldn't believe it. Lena was my next-door neighbor. I was going to have to share a wall with her for the entire school year. I could feel my blood boiling under my skin. Hi, Lena.
Is this your first time in NYC?
She was smirking. What did she think she was better? Better than me just because she lived here longer than I did? I had to take a deep breath to control myself. No, actually, I came here to see Phantom of the Opera years ago.
I love Phantom. I've seen it like 7 times.
Okay, now she was bragging. Whatever, there was no reason to get worked up. I was just going to remove myself from the situation. That's really cool for you, Lena. And then I shut my bedroom door. The following week, when I got into the singing for the stage class, I made sure to bring my very own music book with me. I was ready to finally perform for my new classmates.
Greta, over here.
I looked over to see Daryl beckoning me towards him. He had saved the seat next to him with his backpack. Wow, cute, talented, and thoughtful. This guy seemed too good to be true. Lena looked at Daryl from across the room and rolled her eyes. I plopped down in the seat Daryl saved for me. What was her problem with me?
Don't let Lena give you a hard time. This is kind of awkward, but she and I actually used to date.
I was shocked. How could such a lovely guy date such a cruel girl? As if he could read my mind, Daryl responded.
Yeah, I know. She was actually really nice when we started dating, and she has such a gorgeous voice. We loved singing duets together, but things didn't work out, and now it seems like she's taken it out on you. I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. I appreciate you telling me. I had so many more questions for Daryl, but before I got a chance to ask any of them, Mrs. Larimer came into the room.
Okay, class, let's get ready to sing. Greta, have you had time to prepare your audition cut?
I was ready. I had been practicing all weekend, but now I felt so nervous. I clutched my music binder to my chest, willing myself to disappear behind it.
Break a leg, Greta.
My vision blurred until all I could see was Lena's stupid, big, smug face smirking up at me. All of a sudden, I felt like I was 8 years old again. My voice caught in my throat, and I couldn't stop my hands from shaking. Wished my mom was here to give me a reassuring smile. I longed for words of support from my home friends. I searched for Daryl among the sea of unfamiliar classmates, hoping he would provide me with some fortitude. He'd been so sweet to me this past week. He was the only person who seemed interested in being my friend. But when I scanned the room, I was shocked to see Daryl flirting with another girl.
Oh, Daryl, you're so funny.
She was giggling and looking up at me. Was I being paranoid, or were they making fun of me? Tears started in my eyes and my throat clamped down. I don't be able to sing a single note. I ran out of the classroom before my body betrayed me, and I let anyone see me cry. I ran down the hallway and slipped into the bathroom. I was finally alone. Leaning against the cold door, I let the sobs escape.
Greta, is that you?
What the heck was she doing here? Did she just want to rub it in? How I came all the way to NYC and couldn't even sing in a singing class? I felt like my brain was a volcano and lava was about to seep out of my ears. Lena, leave me alone. Haven't you already done enough?
What are you talking about?
I know I'm a failure. You don't need to tell me.
You're not a failure. You know, my first time in singing for the stage, I got so nervous I sang my whole song off key.
What? Was Lena trying to console me? Why are you telling me this?
Because I like you, and I don't want you to feel embarrassed.
You like me? Then why have you been tormenting me all week?
Tormenting you? What are you talking about?
You tripped me on my first day.
I didn't mean to trip you. I'm nearsighted and my glasses haven't come in yet.
I didn't see you until I ran into you.
I'm so embarrassed.
Oh well, what about when you talked down to me in the dorms?
I just wanted to get to know you. You seemed so cool, and I was new last semester, so I know how scary it can be to make new friends. I didn't mean to make you feel belittled. I'm sorry.
But Daryl said you didn't like me because you and him used to date.
Oh, that's so like Daryl. He pursued me last semester when I was the new student. I was so excited to make a new friend, and then it got romantic. But as soon as another new girl started here, he broke up with me. It's like he only has eyes for new girls. I just try to ignore him, but it's difficult because he has so many friends, and I just know he's telling them his own story about why we broke up.
I was remembering my first week with a whole new perspective. Suddenly, every mean thing Lena did to me was a misunderstanding or a kind gesture. I felt so foolish to have believed Daryl. I emerged from behind the bathroom stall and looked at Lena with new eyes. She looked so apologetic. I embraced her in a big hug, and before I knew it, we were both laughing at how silly the past week had been.
Do you think you're ready to get back to class?
Yeah, actually, when we got back to Mrs. Larimer's classroom, I could tell Daryl had been talking about me. Suddenly, his smile wasn't sweet, but a cruel smirk.
Hi, Greta. I'm glad to see you back in class. Are you ready for your song?
Seeing Daryl, I felt that familiar feeling of dread wash over me. But I looked over at Lena, and she gave me a reassuring nod and a warm smile. I'm ready. I closed my eyes and started to sing. I felt a quiver in my voice at first, but then it got stronger and stronger, and soon I was just lost in the lyrics and the music. When the last note ended and I opened my eyes, everyone erupted in applause. Some people stood up while cheering and clapping, and some people were crying, including our teacher. Even Daryl looked stunned.
Greta, your voice is so pure and beautiful. I think I can say for everyone that you've really moved us, and we're honored to have you here.
Lena leapt forward and gave me a bear hug, and finally, I felt at home at my new school. Hi, I'm Valerie from Philadelphia. Please like and subscribe. Growing up, I thought I had the coolest mom, She was a professional gymnast who'd won tons of competitions, and I wanted to be just like her, the best at something. But no matter how hard I tried, Mom always said I could do better, and she kept comparing me to others. Mommy, I won second in the art contest.
What is this? The neighbor's daughter draws like Picasso, and her art was published in a magazine.
Mom, I came in third in the math quiz.
Well, that's disappointing. Your cousin just skipped 2 grades because she's a genius.
Mom always had something to say. Your cousin's a genius, and she's so perfect, and her farts smell like flowers. In 6th grade, I really started enjoying soccer and joined the team, but I hated it when Mom came to the games. She would shout instructions at me nonstop, and once at a match, she pulled me aside during halftime.
What are you doing? You haven't scored a goal once.
But I helped others score goals, and we're winning.
But no one's noticing you. You want to be a star or someone's sidekick.
I could feel Mom's eyes on me in the second half, and I didn't want to disappoint her again. My teammate was kicking the ball down to the goalpost, and suddenly I ran after her. I tackled the ball away and scored the winning goal myself. Our team won, but everyone was angry at me for stealing the ball from my teammate. I felt terrible, but Mom was ecstatic.
Did you see that my daughter scored the winning goal? Take that, losers!
I left the soccer team, but soon after, Mom took me to my first ballet, and I just knew what I wanted to do with my life. I'm going to be a ballerina, Mom. Mom encouraged me and hired a private instructor who trained me hard for the next few years. And in 9th grade, Mom enrolled me in a fancy private school which had its own ballet team. On my first day, I was just signing up for the ballet club when I heard loud voices behind me. I turned around to see a gorgeous girl walk in, and for some reason, everyone seemed excited to see her. I thought I'd find out who she was, so I walked over with a form. Hi, are you signing up too? You can take this.
These forms are for nobodies like you. I'm already in.
Wow, what's with the attitude? And who are you?
I'm Tatiana's daughter, you fool.
What? Tatiana was a ballet superstar and my idol. I'd have to compete with her daughter. Okay, so having a famous mom doesn't mean you're any good because I've never even heard of you. I walked off before she could reply. Her name was Anastasia, and even though I'd played it cool, I was definitely intimidated. On the day of the auditions, I realized that my ballet shoes were missing. I had no choice but to borrow some spare ones for my performance. I calmed myself down as I stepped onto the stage, but just then I spotted Anastasia grinning at me from a corner, and I knew she had something to do with my shoes. I felt so bothered that I just couldn't focus. As I did a jump, I suddenly lost my balance and stumbled to the ground. I ran off the stage, my face blazing, and Mom was even angrier.
Tatiana's daughter did this. I went with that witch to school, and she was so aggressive and competitive. Of course, her daughter's just like her.
I was shocked the next day when the ballet teacher called me and said I'd been selected. I had no idea what changed her mind. Later, as I was putting stuff in my locker, Anastasia came and slammed it shut in my face.
Wow, you're such a cheater. You're only on the team because you're rich. Mommy bribed the principal. Yeah, I saw her here today. What was she talking about?
You're one to talk. I know you hid my shoes, and you keep using your famous mommy's name any chance you get. Well, now we're both here. May the best ballerina win. But I couldn't help wondering if Mom really had done something to get me on the team, so I asked her.
The principal and I are old friends. She owed me a favor.
Mom, that's cheating. I messed up.
You listen to me, Valerie. I will not have your chances ruined because of one mistake. Sometimes, to get ahead, you have to play a little dirty. Do you want to be on the team or not?
The truth was, I wanted it more than anything. It felt wrong, but I couldn't miss this chance. And by 11th grade, I'd worked so hard that I was the best in my class. Anastasia was really good, but I was better. We were soon performing in the year-end musical, and the teacher told us that professional ballet dancers would be attending. I knew Anastasia was burning because I had the lead role. Well, I'd earned my place. One rainy afternoon, I just picked up my new ballet dress from a shop, when suddenly a cyclist came charging down the pavement at full speed. I managed to jump out of the way but slipped on a puddle. I was about to land hard when someone caught me.
Whoa, gotcha!
I saw a boy with messy hair smiling down at me. Oh my god, you saved my life!
You're welcome, but you wouldn't have actually died.
Oh, I'm a ballerina. I can't afford to get injured, especially right now, so thank you.
Thank me by having lunch with me?
I can't. I don't have time to spare. And suddenly my stomach growled loudly.
Looks like you don't have time to eat either. Come on, I just saved your life.
And I gave in. His name was Seth, and he was in college. I was having such a good time that I hadn't even realized 2 hours had gone by. As he was leaving, he asked for my number. I didn't have much time to date, but he was cute and it was hard to say no. We began texting each other, and soon his messages became the highlight of my day.
Why are you always grinning like a moron these days? Is it a boy?
It's called None of Your Business.
So it is a boy. Well, if you have time to date, you're clearly not working hard enough.
Maybe some of us can do it all and still be the best. Seth and I went on our first official date soon, and being with him made me happy, so I made space for him in my crazy busy life. A few days later, I walked into school to find the halls buzzing with excitement, and I discovered it was because Tatiana was visiting. Sometime later, I went into the changing room, and I stopped short when I saw her there, my idol in the flesh. But just then, I noticed Anastasia and Tatiana started screaming at her.
You're telling me someone else got the lead in the school play? That's because your technique still isn't perfect. Why aren't you pushing yourself harder?
I work as hard as I can. Mom, I'm still one of the best.
There's no such thing. You're either the best or you're nothing. Oh, for God's sake, don't start crying. You know I can't stand it.
Saying that Tatiana left, my idol was a witch. And for once, I felt sorry for Anastasia. Hey, are you okay?
Valerie, were you spying on me? Did you hear everything?
I won't tell anyone. And your mom's wrong. Anastasia, I've seen how committed and talented you are. She's being unfair.
Who do you think you are, Mother Teresa? Did I ask for your pity? My mom's the best, and I will be too. I'm not gonna be nothing. You'll see.
Wow, these two were crazier than my mom. That afternoon, as I was leaving school, I was surprised to see Seth outside, leaning against a fancy car. Seth, what are you doing here?
Hi, I'm here for Miss Tatiana. I'm her driver.
OMG, your boyfriend is our poor driver. I thought you would have aimed a little higher, Val. Oh, maybe you can come work for us as the maid. The driver and the maid. So cute.
Seth's face turned red, and he got into the car silently. Tatiana soon joined them, and he drove off and he asked me to meet him the next day.
I'm not poor. I make good money, but I did lie that I'm in college because I wasn't sure what you'd think of me.
Why aren't you in college, Seth?
I'm taking a break. I haven't figured out what I want to do yet.
How can you live like that with no goals? You can't just be a driver. I regretted my words as I saw his hurt face.
I really admire you, Val. But there is more than one way to live. Your way doesn't have to be right for everybody.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
Look, I want to take my time to find my passion and enjoy every moment like this one.
Suddenly, he leaned in and kissed me, and my heart soared. One night, as I got home from a date, I found Mom in panic.
Valerie, where were you? Why weren't you answering your phone?
Oh, I guess the battery died.
Do you know how worried I was when your instructor called and said you never turned up for rehearsal?
I stared at her in shock. How had I forgotten about my rehearsal completely?
You were with Seth, weren't you? Valerie, you have to break up with that boy.
But why?
Because he's a distraction and he's making you lose your focus. He has no goals or ambition.
You hardly know him. Mom, he's amazing and he cares about me.
But he doesn't get you. He's not right for you. You can be a superstar. Why are you letting him bring you down?
I missed one rehearsal. Big deal.
You would have never said that before you met him.
I felt so angry at Mom. Seth wasn't like me, but he made me happy. The school musical was the same day as my birthday, and Seth took me for a little picnic by the beach before dropping me at school. But suddenly, the car came to a stop in the middle of nowhere.
Don't worry, I'm sure it's nothing.
But the car just wouldn't start. This can't be happening. Why did I ever agree to go out with you today? It took a while for a cab to reach us, and I left without even looking back at Seth. But I still arrived 20 minutes after showtime, and I cried as I watched Anastasia out on the stage as the lead. Mom drove me home in complete silence, but I could feel her disappointment, and mine was even greater. So later that night, I decided to end things with Seth.
I'm really sorry, Val, but that could have happened to anyone.
No, Seth, it wouldn't have happened to me before. I would have been focused on only the show. Look, my career will always come first. And you'd understand that if you had some real goals in your life too. There was silence, and suddenly he hung up. I knew I'd hurt his feelings, and I felt devastated too, but it was the right thing to do. The next day, I was dreading seeing my team or Anastasia at school, but mostly I was feeling heartbroken over Seth. I went into the empty locker room and broke down into tears. Moments later, Anastasia came in. "You're here to rub last night in my face? Go ahead, get it over with. You won. You're the best. Your mom must be so proud of you now."
Actually, she isn't. She made sure to remind me that I only got the lead because you didn't show up.
For a moment, we just sat there quietly. I saw you on stage last night and you were amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Anastasia got selected by a famous dancer right after the musical. After high school, I got into a great dance academy in New York and soon joined the ballet company. I reached fame and success quickly, and I was living my dream life, and Mom was finally proud. A year later, I went back home for some shows, and to my surprise, I bumped into Anastasia one day. She looked different, and I was shocked to learn that she'd given up on professional ballet.
I'll always love ballet, but I just couldn't take all that pressure. I'm not like Mom or you, so I left it and I started a dance studio for young kids.
She looked so much happier now, and I was happy for her. One night, as I was performing, I suddenly spotted a face in the front row that made my heart skip a beat. Seth! After the show, he was waiting outside my dressing room.
I'm a journalist now, and I was in town to cover a story. I had to come see your show. You were magical, Val, and I'm so proud of you.
That means a lot. Thanks.
Got time for coffee with an old friend?
I was so happy to see him that I said yes. We kept seeing each other for the next few weeks, and I realized I'd really missed having him in my life. But a few days later, I found out I was being sponsored to go on a world tour by my company. I would be an international star. I met Anastasia and told her the amazing news, but she sensed something was bothering me, and I told her everything about Seth.
You should totally date him.
But I'm about to leave for a world tour. I won't have time for him, and I can't have any distractions.
That's your mom talking, Val. Listen, you can have all the fame and money in the world, but what's the point if you have no one to share it with? Being successful doesn't mean you have to be alone.
Anastasia was right, and the next day I met Seth and told him everything. This time, I don't want to choose. I don't want to give up one dream for another, but I'm moving soon for my world tour. And
Val, I wouldn't dream of holding you back. I travel for work all the time, and I can move to Europe while you're there. We can make this work. I let you walk away from me before, and I don't want to do that again. I love you, Valerie.
I love you too, Seth.
Hi, I'm Ian from Canada. Please like and subscribe. I was born in a super rich family who owned a chain of restaurants. We pretty much had everything you could imagine except peace. My dad was a bad-tempered man who threw tantrums over the smallest things. Mom was soft-hearted and hardly ever spoke back. But my biggest problem was my bratty sister. Ariel was 2 years younger than me and 10 times worse than my dad. Once when I was 8, my parents took us to a wedding and I was playing with my cousins when I spotted Ariel being mean to a little boy whose family was poor. She snatched his lollipop and he started crying.
You can't eat that because you're ugly.
Ariel, give it back now.
No.
Just then, the boy's mom came and started shouting at Ariel, who went screaming to Dad and to him, and of course, he defended her.
How dare you yell at my daughter? She's saying the lollipop is hers and she would never steal from anyone.
But Dad, I was right here. I saw her.
Ian, this is your sister and you should be on her side, not this poor boy's.
Dad and Ariel were like two peas in a pod, and it was no wonder that he loved her more than me, and she always found a way to get me into trouble. Like in the 5th grade when Ariel joined my school, my parents asked me to look out for her on her first day, and I did exactly believe that. But as we were waiting for our car to pick us up, I suddenly turned around and saw she was gone. I looked for her everywhere in the school, but I couldn't find her. Feeling panicked, I had a school teacher call my parents, and soon after they arrived, Ariel came running from somewhere and flew into my dad's arms.
Mommy, Daddy, Ian Lucky in the storeroom. I was so scared.
I was stunned at how wicked she was. What? No, I didn't. Stop lying, Ariel. She cried even louder and Dad started yelling at me. but thankfully Mom took my side.
Calm down, Steve. Maybe he's telling the truth.
Ariel is only 7 years old. I don't think she knows how to lie yet. It's him.
I was grounded for a whole month because of the stunt of my sister pulled. She grew up to be the same wicked witch, and I became quiet and withdrawn from my family. I focused on doing well at school, and since I loved computers, I spent a lot of time teaching myself about them. I always thought it was a nerd, so I was surprised when I started getting attention from girls in the 10th grade. Even Ariel's friends were always staring at me and giggling, which was kinda creepy. One evening when I was studying for a big test, Ariel had some friends over, and they were playing music so loudly that I could hardly focus. I decided to go for a run, but just as I was changing my shirt, a girl flung open the door and stood staring at me.
Oops, I thought this was the bathroom.
You've been to our house before, and wouldn't you still knock?
You're so funny.
She giggled for no reason, and then Ariel came up behind her grinning.
Where are you off to?
Running away because you girls are so noisy.
We'll be quiet only if you agree to date my friend here.
What? Not doing that? I'm sure she's just like you. I ran away from there as fast as I could, but when I returned, I found Ariel crying in my room. Such a drama queen. Why can't you cry in your own room?
My best friend has been so depressed since her parents got divorced, and she's always crying and sniffling, and it's so annoying. Her puffy eyes are so ugly they can't be seen with her. So please date her and cheer her up just once.
I reluctantly agreed, they both leave me alone after that. So the next day after school, I said I'd meet her friend at a nearby milkshake shop, and when I got there, Ariel was also with her. Weirdest date ever. We ordered her drinks, and then this girl who was in my history class called Elsa came with our milkshakes. Ariel took one sip of her drink and spat it out.
Ooh, I said bubblegum milkshake, not strawberry. Must be extra stupid for getting it wrong.
And then she threw the glass on the floor and told Elsa to clean it up. Have you lost your mind? You can't treat people like this.
Dad is so right about you. Being a softie will get you nowhere, brother. And you stupid girl, don't just stand there. Get me a new milkshake.
You're pathetic. I ran after Elsa to check if she was okay, and I found her crying in the back alley. I'm so sorry about my sister. She's a real piece of work.
Yeah, it's not the first time she's done this.
But you shouldn't allow her to bully you like this.
I have no choice. My boss says customers come first and I can't afford to lose this job. It pays my school fees.
I didn't know much about Elsa because she always hid her face behind her long hair and never spoke in class. And because of what my sister did, I offered to buy her lunch at school. When I sat with her in the cafeteria the next day, the entire school had their eyes on us because this was the first time I was seen with some girl. While we talked, she kept looking down. I lifted her chin up gently and pushed her hair behind her ears. I was amazed at how beautiful she was. Wow, you're lovely. You shouldn't hide your face like that.
Thank you. You're the first person here who's been this nice to me, but I think people are looking at you wondering why some rich and handsome guy like you is sitting with a waitress.
I couldn't care less about what they're thinking, but they're probably all looking at you. I started hanging out with her every day and found myself falling for her fast. I like how Elsa was gentle and soft-spoken, but she also had a fun, quirky side that was adorable. But one evening when I got home, Dad was waiting for me in the living room, with Ariel by his side.
Your sister tells me you're dating some poor girl. Is this true?
Ariel is crazy. How do you judge a person without even knowing where they're from?
Because she's a waitress, stupid.
You're stupid because you keep poking your nose in my business. Just then, Mom walked in after some errands, and Dad told her to make him tea. Mom just walked into the house, and you're already giving her orders.
It's okay, Ian. I don't mind.
No, Mom, it's not okay. These two are always bullying us around, and now they're telling me who I can and can't date.
That's because this girl he likes is a gold digger.
I'm not letting you embarrass us by being with some beggar. What will people think?
That sounds like your problem because I don't care. And guess what? She's coming over for dinner this weekend and you will be nice to her. If you don't agree, Dad, I will drop out of school and move out, and you can find another son to help you with the business. Business. Dad knew that I was smarter than his precious daughter, and he needed me to take over his business one day. So he had no choice but to give in. The next day, when I invited Elsa over, she looked gorgeous and really nervous.
I'm so scared to meet your parents.
Don't worry. We'll be just fine and he'll love you. Mom did seem to, but Dad and Ariel glared at her.
So Ella, is it?
Elsa, sir.
What do your parents do?
I don't have parents. I live with my grandmother and I take care of her.
So basically you're poor.
Ariel, that's very rude.
I kicked my sister under the table and she cried out angrily and stormed out of the room. Sometime later, Elsa excused herself to go to the bathroom, and Mom told her it was upstairs. She was gone for a while, so I decided to check on her. And I stopped short when I found her in my parents' room opening Mom's jewelry box. Elsa, what are you doing here?
Ian, you startled me, and oh, this isn't what it looks like. I promise your sister came out of your parents' bedroom, shoved this diamond ring in my hand, and told me to leave. She ran off before I could say anything, so I just came here to put it back. I don't know what's going on.
Liar?
We turned around to see Ariel in the doorway.
She's lying. I never gave her the ring. Mom, Dad, we have a thief in the house.
Shut up, Ariel. But the two had already come up running, and Elsa looked scared out of her wits.
Check her bag. I'm telling you, she's a thief.
Ariel suddenly snatched Elsa's bag, and as it fell to the ground, a lot of Mom's jewelry fell out. I didn't know what to think.
Gets out of our house before we call the police.
Elsa ran out crying, and I was too shocked to even run after her. If she needed money so badly, she could have asked me for help. There had to be some reason she felt she had to steal. But I never saw her again. She just didn't come to school after that, and when I asked the school admin, they told me she transferred to another school. Ariel and her friend were over the moon.
My friend is still available if you want to date her.
No thank you, and you should focus on school. Your math teacher spoke to me today and told me you're failing badly.
Oh, I'm the most beautiful girl in this school, and I don't think I'm going to use math in my modeling career.
Ariel did fail high school, and for the first time, Dad was so disappointed in her she couldn't get a job anywhere, not even as a model. So she ended up working as a waitress in one of Dad's restaurants where I was the manager. I had so much fun bossing her around. Ariel, the customers are waiting.
Well, do something about it.
I'm the manager. Go see to the customers now.
Daddy, Ian's being mean to me?
He's just doing his job, so please do yours. I'm already doing you a favor because you're not a very good waitress.
Ariel looked ready to explode.
Oh, so Ian's your favorite child now, Dad. How about we tell him about the time you plotted with me to get rid of his girlfriend, Elsa?
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, Dad asked me to slip Mom's jewelry into Elsa's bag. Duh. And he also found out where she lived and gave her grandmother money to take Elsa to another school.
I couldn't believe my ears. I looked at Dad for answers, but he didn't show an ounce of guilt.
Yeah, so I only did it for you. Ian, there are plenty of girls out there, and I didn't want you to be trapped by a poor one.
I quit my job that very moment, and before I moved out of the house, Mom gave me a check for a huge amount of money.
Ian, I've been saving up money secretly for years, and I want you to have this. Use it wisely, son.
Mom, thank you so much, and you're coming with me.
Sweetheart, I have more money saved, and now that you kids are old enough, I'm leaving your father and moving to Bali. It's time I lived my life.
I'm so happy for you, Mom. I used the money to start my own IT company, which became very successful over the years. The only thing missing in my life was love. Then one day at the grocery store, I was standing in line at the counter when I spotted a black-haired girl ahead of me. It was Elsa. Cashier was telling her that her card wasn't working, and she looked really bothered. How much is it? I'll pay. Elsa turned around and stared at me in shock, and then she looked mad.
No need. I'll come and buy these things later.
She left her grocery cart and walked off quickly, and I followed. Elsa, please wait.
Go away, Ian. I don't need your help. I'm not poor now, by the way. Something just went wrong with my card. I know what my family did.
I know. And I'm so sorry. Look, you don't have to forgive me or have anything to do with me. I'd just like to help you out right now. Let me pay, please. She calmed down a bit and we went back inside to clear her bill. Then she briefly thanked me and left, but I just couldn't stop thinking about her for days. A week later, I was watching TV at home when I heard the doorbell, and I was shocked to find Elsa standing there. Elsa, you're the last person I was expecting.
I felt I owed you dinner as a thank you for the other day, and I just wanted to say that I forgive you. Everyone deserves a second chance, right? So here, I'm giving you one.
Her smile made my heart skip a beat, and I gently pushed her hair away from her face. You're still the most beautiful girl I've ever met.
Hi, my name is Charlotte. Please like and subscribe. I was born in Bordeaux, a beautiful city in France. When I was 8 years old, we moved to the USA because my dad got a great job there. The city we moved to was huge, filled with skyscrapers, shops, and opportunities, for so I was told. However, it didn't take long for things to start going downhill. When I began attending school there, my parents enrolled me in a private school for international students.
Hi, everyone. My name is Charlotte. I'm 8 years old and I come from France. I brought some madeleines that my mom made for everyone today.
Hi, Charlotte. I'm Laura from Italy. Do you want to hang out later today?
Laura and I became very close. We would often take the same bus home, do our homework together, and even attend drawing classes together. Even though Laura didn't speak any French, being with her reminded me a lot of home. I was shy and liked to keep things to myself, while Laura was fun and a bit wild, someone my mom wouldn't think was classy. Mom really didn't like Laura. She kept trying to make me hang out with kids from rich families that I didn't like, but I ended up making friends with 2 girls just so Mom would stop nagging me. One evening, I forgot to tell Mom I invited Laura over for dinner. Mom was really mean to Laura when she came.
Charlotte mentioned your mom is a saleswoman. Do you guys even eat dinner every night, or is it too expensive at least?
Why would you say something like that?
Hey, it's okay, Uncle. No, we don't always have big dinners, but what we do have is each other. What's the point of a fancy dinner if the family isn't close?
What do you mean by that?
Oh, nothing. Did I upset you? I thought your family was okay.
I think you should go!
Mom! Why?
She's not going anywhere.
She leaves now, or you'll be sorry.
Awkward silence fell, which Laura broke.
Don't worry, I'll go. Seems like I just got my answer about the kind of family this is.
Leave now!
And with that, Laura left. I was really upset with Mom, but she didn't seem to care. Laura told me not to let it bother me.
You already have it tough with a mom like that. I won't make it worse by leaving you alone.
I love you for being here.
One gloomy day in the 6th grade. Everything changed when my parents started to struggle financially after my dad lost his job and they had to move me to a public school.
We can't just pull her out of school. She's doing so well. What would I even say to my friends if they asked? I want her to succeed here in the USA, to make something of herself, and make me proud.
Dad slammed his hand angrily on the table and glared at Mom.
At least think clearly for once. You're not seeing the big picture. As usual, you don't seem to get that I've lost my job and we're drowning in bills. The only sensible move is to switch her to public school.
Yes, Mom was a bit of a difficult person. She was obsessed with maintaining a perfect image. Being perceived as poor was a disaster for her. Her mom was also a strict lady, obsessed with etiquette and rules. She was against my mom's marriage, although my dad was well off. But Mom stood firm and married Dad, so her parents cut her off. Now us not having much money would make my grandma right, and that made my mom even madder. She made us move to a different city so she could lie and tell her friends that Dad had received a job opportunity far away. I screamed and cried for days. I didn't want to leave our city or be away from Laura. But as usual, Mom ignored my protests. I was heartbroken.
Dad, I hate her.
Hate is a strong word. You know how your mom is. She wants things her way. Life hasn't ended, though. You'll make new friends. And about Laura, you can still talk to her on the phone, and I'll help you see her once in a while.
Thank you, Dad. You're too kind to be with someone like her, but I guess life isn't fair.
Saying goodbye to Laura was incredibly hard. And to make things worse, after we moved, I realized I forgot the notebook with Laura's number in it. It was utterly heartbroken. Even though we didn't have a lot of money, Mom kept having big parties at fancy places for her friends. We were getting more and more into debt, even though Dad asked her many times to stop the parties. One day, she even gave her friend a really expensive ring for her birthday. Dad got really upset when the bank called him.
Listen, woman, I can't take this anymore. This is your last chance, If you don't stop, we might have to split up.
And I'll want to stay with Dad.
With that, Mom left. She was gone for a couple of days. Although Dad and I were worried, we didn't try to reach her. It was time for her to act like the adult she supposedly was. When she returned, she walked into the house and started doing laundry as if nothing had happened. From that day on, she stopped seeing her friends so much and didn't waste our money anymore. I was relieved she finally came to her senses, but I could see a change in her. Her eyes had lost. Well, things at the public school weren't perfect either. At first it was okay, but things changed quickly. When I started junior year of high school, I noticed my body changing rapidly, even spotting some freckles on my face. It wasn't just my appearance that was changing. My social life was too suddenly always started looking at me differently. Girls were going out with boys and there seemed to be more parties.
Hey Charlotte, how about grabbing some ice cream after school? Just the two of us?
Just us? Alone?
Yeah, just us. Why were you planning on turning it into a group event?
Well, I thought maybe we could invite Jessica too.
Look, I wasn't making a guest list. You know what? Forget it. I got to go. And hey Charlotte, or should I call you the lost little raccoon? Just because you're from France doesn't mean you're anything special here. If anything, it just shows you can't take a joke and always dampen the mood.
Before I could respond, he pressed his gum into my hair as he walked away. It was not just embarrassing, it felt like a sharp hug at my dignity. I came back home that day, wanting to tell Mom about it. She was cooking in the kitchen when I walked in.
Hi, Mom. I had a weird day at school today.
I really don't have time for your stories right now. You know, we've been living in the USA for quite a while, and you still call a lot of things weird.
I felt so angry I started crying. Our relationship wasn't that great to begin with, but now it felt ruined. If a girl doesn't find confidence in her mother, then the relationship feels distant, and each day I was growing further away from my mom. I headed to my room to put away my books when I spotted a sketchbook on my desk. It was from the drawing classes with Laura, and it had her number inside. Turns out it saved it here as well. I was ecstatic. I quickly and quietly went to the living room, wrapped my mom's phone, and dialed Laura's mom's number.
Hello, Elise. What do you want?
Hi, it's actually Charlotte here. Laura's friend from school. Do you remember me? Can I talk to Laura?
Oh, Charlotte. Yes, I remember you. One moment. Laura, your friend Charlotte is on the phone.
Wow, I've been trying to find you, but I couldn't. How are you?
Hey Laura, I'm not on social media much. I really miss talking to you. We should hang out soon. I'd love to, but my family is going to Europe this Friday.
Europe? That's so cool. I wish I could go too. You're so lucky.
Why don't you come with us? My grandparents' house is big and you can stay in the guest room.
I'd love to, but my mom would never say yes.
We don't have to tell her everything. Just say you're going on a school project abroad. She loves to brag about this stuff now.
Laura, that's smart. It's going to be so fun. We can eat lots of good food, see new places, and maybe even paint. I'd love to paint in a quiet spot away from all the noise, especially away from Mom.
In fact, I found out that the city Laura and I were visiting was hosting a big art competition during our stay, and I signed up for it. On Friday, my mother drove me to the airport with a big smile on her face. I got out of the car and walked to the airport gate when I saw Laura. She looked great and ran up to me.
Charlotte for going to Europe! It's going to be so fun!
I'm so excited. I entered a drawing contest over there too. The prize is also about $500,000. Can you come and cheer for me? It feels like a dream.
Sure! But you have to draw me and make my eyebrows look good.
I enjoyed spending time with Laura, but sometimes things felt off. It seemed like she would suddenly stop talking to her mom when I showed up, as if they were hiding something from me. One night after we had dinner, she said something strange.
You know, I was actually happy when your family started having money problems.
What? Why would you say that?
Well, your mom was a witch, and seeing her getting humiliated was so satisfying.
First of all, becoming poor has nothing to do with humiliation. Second, Mom becoming poor also means me becoming poor. I thought your love for me was bigger than your hate for her.
Oh, come on now! She's awful! Okay, let's change the subject. Want to eat some ice cream?
I suddenly don't feel like it. I think I'm calling it a night.
And with that, I stormed off. The competition day was getting close. It was going to last 2 days. The first for live painting in front of an audience, and the second for a closing ceremony where judges would announce the winners.
Do you think the judges will be fair?
I'm sure they will be. Are you excited to cheer me on?
Of course. Will you cheer for me too?
What do you mean?
I'm entering the competition too. You knew that, right?
What? No!
You think I've lost my touch? I've been taking drawing classes for the past year. I see this as a great chance.
But Laura, you never mentioned this.
I didn't think I needed to report my plans to you. Anyway, I think it's better we focus on our own preparations for the next few days, so we probably shouldn't hang out too much.
I was stunned. What happened to my best friend? I almost regretted coming on this trip. The only thing keeping me here was the upcoming competition. I was determined to win and get the prize. The first day of the competition arrived. We were led onto the stage, each competitor equipped with a set of pencils, colors, and a blank canvas. Laura leaned over with a mischievous grin and whispered,
"May, the best girl."
I was too stressed to respond and just focused on getting onto the stage. That's when I saw it. The event was being broadcast live on TV. My heart sunk. I thought,
oh no, my mom will see this. She'll ground me for life.
Not only did I lie to her, but I'm also here with Laura, someone she can't stand. And now Laura, she turned out to be so different from what I thought. This is a nightmare. I wish I could just vanish. But I took a deep breath, pushed down my fear, and began to paint with all my heart, pouring every emotion onto the canvas. While sitting comfortably at home, my mom saw my face on the TV screen and yelled,
Pierre, our daughter, isn't on a school project. She's on TV with Laura. This is nonsense. She won't get away with this. We're flying to Europe.
My parents caught the next flight and arrived on the second day of the competition. Mom tried calling me the whole time, but I was too caught up with the competition and the drama with Laura to answer. On the final day, as I stood on stage with Laura and the other competitors, they started announcing the winners. Laura got second place and I was on the verge of tears until they announced Charlotte is the winner. Overjoyed, I walked towards the microphone to give a speech, only to see my mom storm into the hall. I was shocked and embarrassed, yelling in front of everyone. She demanded,
How could you? Lie to me, Charlotte. You know there will be consequences. And with Laura? Of all people.
Oh, me! Of all people! Remember when you burned the book that Charlotte wrote my number in? You called and insulted me and my mom, who even threatened me, a child, to stay away from Charlotte. Do you want me to say what? You did too!
Shut it!
Don't you dare speak to my daughter like that! Laura, what exactly did my mom do to you?
Let it go! Didn't you just win? Take your prize and leave with your parents!
Your mom threatened Laura's mom with her connections in immigration, saying she'd get her deported.
What kind of sick person hates a kid like this? What has she ever done to you? You need help. I'm taking the prize money and I'm leaving with Dad. You should consider getting help. I'll even pay for your therapy.
I traveled all this way for you to side with her. What lies has she told you?
Enough! Let's go, Charlotte.
Laura, what my mom did was wrong, but targeting me wasn't fair. Still, I'm here if you want to start over.
Then I went to receive my medal and prize, hugged my dad, and we left.
Hi, I'm Ariana from New York. Please like and subscribe. When I opened my eyes to this world, the first person I saw was my dad. And since that moment, I adored him, and he loved me like crazy. He gave me everything a girl could dream of. I loved my mom too, but she was a little harder to like. She had a serious problem. She wanted everything clean. I mean, really clean. Like when I was 4, Dad smudged a piece of birthday cake all over my face and Mom went ballistic.
Oh God, she's all dirty. Now I'll have to bathe her all over again. Why'd you do that, John?
Ah, come on, it's her birthday. We're just having fun.
Mom and Dad would always argue because she was such a clean freak. She took the fun out of everything we did. Once in 2nd grade, my school had a mother-daughter bake-off event, and Mom wore plastic gloves the whole time. And she was so picky about everything.
Are you sure you washed the bowl properly twice with hot water?
Yes, Mom. I washed it like 10 times already. Now can we start baking? Because everyone is way ahead of us.
But these spoons look like they need to be sanitized.
I got so mad that I took the spoon and licked it. There! Now it's sanitized. Mom looked like she was about to freak out. I felt bad, so I got a new spoon and washed it well to ease her mind. But Dad and I had so much more in common. We laughed at the same jokes, watched the same movies, and we enjoyed our PlayStation challenges. Beat you again!
Ah, how'd you become so good?
I learned from the best.
Huh, you got that right.
But my world turned around in 7th grade when my parents decided to get a divorce. I knew they fought a lot, but I hadn't seen this coming. It broke my heart when he moved out. I still saw him every day. And I was slowly adjusting to this new life when Dad dropped another bombshell on me a few months later. He introduced me to his new girlfriend, Amanda. She looked like she was a college graduate, and she was super pretty. I disliked her instantly.
Oh, hi, cutie pie. You're just as adorable as your daddy said. Here, I got you a present.
Why was she talking to me like I was 5? Thanks, but it's not my birthday.
Oh, I know when your birthday is, but one can give presents at any time, right?
I reluctantly pulled out a t-shirt, which was cute, but I just shoved it back in the bag and dropped it on the ground. I don't think we have the same taste. You can return it.
Ariana, you need to be nice to Amanda because she's being nice to you.
And from that day, Amanda was like a pimple that wouldn't go away. Every time I visited Dad, she was there, trying to act like we were a happy family. She also kept smothering me with gifts and her fake love just so I would like her. But I hated her because she took my dad away from me. And even worse, Dad married her a year later. I was still struggling to deal with all of this. So I created a YouTube channel called Dads and Daughters. When I showed it to Dad, he loved it. And every day after school, he'd pick me up and we would create cool ideas together for the show. Once in 9th grade, Dad and I were at a restaurant, and when he went to the bathroom, his phone started buzzing. It was Amanda. You know he's at dinner with me. Can't you let us have some time alone?
Ariana, please give the phone to your dad. I don't have to explain myself to you.
And I don't have to give your message. I hung up and switched off Dad's phone. He didn't notice until the end of dinner that his phone was off, and when he switched it on, He looked shocked at his messages.
Oh my god. Amanda fell down the stairs. She's been trying to get in touch with me for 2 hours.
And when Amanda told him she'd spoken to me, he was furious. He'd never been angry at me before, and now he was practically shouting.
You will apologize to her or I'll cancel our YouTube show. I mean it.
I went up to their bedroom where Amanda was sitting up in bed. I'm sorry, Amanda, I guess. I was about to leave when she suddenly grabbed my wrist.
You better listen to me clearly, Brett. I'm here to stay whether you like me or not. And if you keep behaving this way, you won't be welcome in our house anymore.
It's my dad's house.
And mine. Don't mess with me again, Ariana, if you know what's good for you.
Just then, Dad walked in, and she was all smiles. She was more evil than I thought. She would definitely try to push me out of Dad's life. And just a few days later, Dad told me that he and Amanda had some big news.
You're gonna be a big sister soon, Ariana.
A big sister to what?
Your dad and I are having a baby. Isn't that great?
Did they expect me to be happy? All I felt was anger and heartbreak, but I managed a small smile. Congratulations. And soon after, when the baby was born, Dad looked at her the same way he looked at me and called her his little princess. That's what he used to call me. He was too busy being a new dad to shoot more episodes for our channel, and I decided I needed to stay away from him and his family. Amanda had won. Maybe Mom noticed that I was really downcast because one day after dinner, she said the two of us should go out for ice cream. I could see she was trying to connect, and I agreed. She wore her gloves as usual anytime she went out, but it didn't bother me anymore. I'd learned to accept her the way she was.
So tell me what's bugging you?
I feel like Dad doesn't love me anymore.
Honey, that's not true. You'll always be his little princess.
No, he has another princess now. Mom stayed quiet at that and just hugged me tight, and then she gave me some news.
A girl from Thailand will be attending your school on an exchange program, and she'll be living with us for some time. Are you okay with that?
Mom worked in a company that dealt with exchange students, but it was the first time we'd had one as a guest. As long as I don't have to share my room, I guess it would be cool. A week later, we fetched Macy from the airport. She was a short, cute girl my age, and she was so excited when she saw us.
Hi, I'm Macy. It's so nice to meet you. You're both so pretty.
And the whole ride home, she just wouldn't stop talking.
The flight was so long. I'm so excited about school tomorrow. Have you ever been to Thailand?
No, but
Oh, it's such a beautiful place. You should visit. Maybe when I go back for the holidays, you can come with me. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, it would, I guess. Gosh, I had to live with this chatterbox for the next 12 months. And the next morning, she woke me up at 4 a.m. so that we could go jogging. Couldn't even say no because she was our guest and I was trying to be nice. When I showed Matsy around school on her first day, she spoke to just about everyone. I was quite popular at school because of the YouTube show, and it felt a bit embarrassing that she said anything that came into her head. I could see people laughing at her. Later that day, when school ended, I couldn't find her anywhere. That's when she texted me to come rescue her because some kids had locked her up in the janitor's closet. Listen, Macy's things are different here. People here don't just start talking to strangers, and we don't talk that fast. We let others speak and listen to them.
Okay, so I shouldn't speak?
No, you can speak, just not so much.
Oh, I see. But those girls were really mean to me, and I hadn't said anything mean to them.
I know. People can just be jerks sometimes. When we go out of the school gate, I spotted Dad's car, and he was waving at me. He said he'd been wanting to catch up with me, and I was really surprised and happy. That is, till I saw the new baby was with him. Amanda apparently had an appointment with the doctor, and Dad was taking care of my baby sister, Kara. I introduced him to Macy, and then he took us to the aquarium. Dad picked up Kara from her seat and held her in front of me.
Ariana, can you hold her for a moment?
What? I don't know how to hold a baby.
Don't worry, I can do it. She's so cute.
Thank God for Macy. She looked like she was really good with babies. And then Dad put Kara in her stroller. Macy was excitedly taking pictures of everything, and Dad and I just walked quietly through the aquarium. Things had changed between us, and we didn't have much to say to each other anymore. Just then, his phone rang. It was Amanda. Our trip was over, and he dropped us home.
You don't like your baby sister very much, do you?
I never said that.
Come on, you didn't even look at her. I'm not blind. I can tell when someone...
And suddenly, I just lost my temper. Can't you ever be quiet? I thought we spoke about this earlier. Please just leave me alone. I just stormed off to my room, and I didn't even go down for supper that night. And the next day, I sneaked off to school without Macy. I wasn't really angry with her, just my situation with Dad. When she arrived at school, she left a note on my desk and then quickly sat down. The note read, "Sorry for talking too much." I looked back at her and she smiled. She was an odd person with a big heart, and I couldn't help smiling back. As we sat down during recess, the same girls who'd locked her the day before walked up to us.
Hey, Ariana. You still have your walking-talking parrot with you. Aren't your ears bleeding by now with her non-stop chatter?
No, I really like listening to her, but your voice is giving me a headache. So please go away and get a life. But just then, the girl dunked her juice on Macy's head, and I pounced on her. As we rolled around fighting, Macy came running and sprayed ketchup all over the girl's face.
Don't hurt Ariana, you witch.
We all ended up in detention, but it was totally worth it.
Hey, thanks for standing up for me and saving my butt again.
I should have never told you to act differently. Just be yourself, okay? What a mistake that was. It was hard to stop her, especially when we watched videos together on YouTube. She had a running commentary going the whole time. Soon after, it was my 16th birthday, but Mom wasn't keen on having a party at home because of the mess, so Macy and I just went out to celebrate. As we were shopping at the mall, we bumped into Amanda and Kara. Maisie immediately went all gaga over the baby, but I just stood on the side silently.
Happy birthday, Ariana.
Oh, you must be Ariana's stepmom. It's so nice to finally meet you.
I hated the word stepmom. I didn't want her to be anything to me. Come on, Macy, let's go!
Wait a second. It's funny that I bumped into you. I just bought you a gift.
No thanks. I don't want anything from you.
Why are you always like this? Ariana, I've really tried.
Can you drop the fake nice act, please? The only thing you've tried to do is steal my dad and you succeeded. Have you forgotten that you threatened me?
Ariana, I was angry with you then. I didn't really mean anything.
Before she could finish, I just started walking quickly. I heard Macy
Ariana?
calling my name, but I wanted to get away from Amanda. Suddenly, I heard a scream, and I turned to see Macy slip on something and fall to the ground. I rushed over to her, and she was unconscious. Amanda quickly called an ambulance and went to the hospital with me. I was so anxious as I sat there waiting that I just couldn't stop tapping my foot. Amanda sat next to me and comforted me, and I felt better. The doctor came soon and said Massey had a minor concussion and that she was okay. When I went to her room, she was sitting up in bed. As I sat next to her, Matsy took off the locket she was wearing.
I want to tell you something, Ariana. I had a baby sister too, and she was 3 years younger than me. She was my best friend, and then she died 2 years ago.
My eyes welled up as I looked at her sister's picture.
I carry her around with me everywhere. Love the people around you while you can, so you never have any regrets.
The doctor said she could go home, and I found Amanda was still waiting outside for us. She drove us back home. When we got there, the house was pitch dark. Just as I opened the door, the lights came on, and many people yelled surprise. It was my birthday party, and Dad was there along with my friends from school. Mom, I thought you didn't want to get the house dirty.
Don't worry, I'll sanitize the place once the party's over.
I hugged Mom and Dad, and then I turned to Amanda. Thank you for being there for me today. And I'm sorry for how I've treated you. I really am.
Can I give you your present now?
You already did. I picked up my baby sister and hugged her tight. Hi, I'm Miriam from London. Please like and subscribe. I lived with my parents and my grandma on my dad's side. Grandma was a millionaire, so we lived in a mansion with a pool and even a tennis court. But Grandma was also the meanest lady on the planet. Except to me. When Mom made dinner, everything tasted wrong.
I've never eaten rice this overcooked. I might as well eat bleach for dinner.
But one time, I made Grandma a mustard sandwich and she was blown away.
Look at you, already cooking at 10 years old. My granddaughter is the smartest girl on the planet.
Grandma also showered me with expensive gifts constantly. One time, I helped Dad clean the floors, and Grandma bought me a TV for my room.
Look at you doing your chores. This is what you get for being an angel, darling.
Grandma scolded Mom and Dad for not spoiling me the way she did.
Miriam had a fever yesterday. You two cheapskates couldn't hire a singer or a boy band to entertain her.
Even though she was a jerk to everyone around her, I loved being Grandma's little gem. Whenever my parents got mad at me, I had my grandma to hide behind.
What is this? D on your biology test? Miriam.
Grandma, Mom's yelling at me.
How dare you put that kind of pressure on Mariama? Sweetie, you don't have to study if you don't want to.
My parents really wanted me to become a doctor. When I grew up, they would get me all sorts of medical toys. But all I was ever interested in was paints, clays, and brushes. I often imagined myself as a famous painter and pretended to take a veil off a painting I made. Everyone would tell me I was the next Picasso, and I'd say, "Oh, you're all too kind." One day in 9th grade, I decided to sign up for a painting class, but my dumb parents said I had to take chemistry.
It's time you start taking school seriously, young lady.
We've had enough of your art nonsense.
That was it. I opened my mouth and started to scream. Mom and Dad covered their ears.
What is the matter with you? Are you a toddler?
I think I lost my hearing.
Grandma, they're being so mean to want to take biology. I want to paint.
You two should be ashamed of yourselves. Miriam is obviously an art prodigy and should be painting as much as she wants.
We'll compromise then. You will take biology class, but we'll hire a tutor to give you private art lessons.
Really? Really? Oh, thank you so much. I knew I was being a little bratty, but if I could take private art lessons, so be it. My art tutor turned out to be a girl from my school. Her name was Layla, and she was in the 11th grade. And I didn't mind having her for my art tutor at all. She was one of the most popular girls in school and looked like a supermodel. I'd always heard about her, but I never got to talk to her before.
I'm gonna help you become one of the greatest painters. Soon you won't even need to go to school anymore.
I sure hope you're right. I didn't know you were an artist, Layla. No one ever said anything.
Nobody really knows me at all, really. I think I'm only popular because of how I look, but I don't have any real friends.
Layla and I spent an hour painting and talking, and Layla was right. She wasn't like most popular girls at all. In fact, she was a little weird. One time, I decided to paint my entire face green, just to see what it would look like. All right then, so I guess we're done for today.
Actually, I wanted to ask you something. My parents are on vacation for like 6 months, so I'm all alone in my house. Can I stay at your place? I'll help out around the house and give you triple the art lessons.
Triple the art lessons? I was gonna make sure Layla could live with us. Oh, for sure. I just gotta talk to my grandma. But my parents happen to be in the same room as Grandma, and they wouldn't have it.
Some stranger living in our home? Are you crazy?
Might as well invite a robber to live with us.
You guys are so unfair. She said she's gonna give me triple the art lessons. Grandma, tell my parents to stop being jerks.
Miriam's right. You two are heartless people, not letting a friend of Miriam's into our home, not letting her follow her dreams. You should be ashamed of yourselves.
I knew then Layla was gonna stay with us for as long as I wanted her to. But as time passed, I didn't just do art with Layla. I also talked to her for hours.
Miriam, how come your grandma's such a bully?
She's a bully to everyone, but not to me.
Don't you worry, one day she'll bully you too.
No, Grandma loves me.
You know, you're kinda naive, Miriam. Sort of like a kid.
I am not.
No, it's a good thing. I wish I was more like that.
Layla said the most confusing things, but I loved every moment I spent with her. Even at school, being with Layla was an adventure. She would do the weirdest things.
Miriam, come with us to the boys' bathroom. We're gonna tape anonymous love letters on the wall.
Are you crazy? Why?
'Cause it'll drive them crazy.
When no one was looking, Layla leaned over to me and whispered,
"Consider this your most important art, how to win over the boy you love."
But I don't like any boys.
Or maybe boys don't like you. You're two. I don't know what the word is.
What's that supposed to mean?
I don't know. Boys just maybe aren't into you. Like I said, you're kinda young for your age.
Layla taped her anonymous love letter to the wall and left me inside the boys' bathroom. I was mad after Layla said that. I even refused to talk to her after school.
Come on, Miriam. Don't be so sensitive. I didn't mean anything by it.
You insulted me. Maybe you are just another mean, popular girl.
I'm sorry. You're right. Sometimes I say stupid things. Sometimes I think there's something wrong with me.
What do you mean? Layla didn't answer. Instead, she took me to this gorgeous hiking trail to paint. I forgot all about our conversation. Layla, do you think I can win the Easter drawing contest, become the best artist in the world, and maybe even drop out of school?
It doesn't work like that, silly. I was kidding when I said that maybe you'll never be a great painter.
You don't think I'll ever be a great painter?
I don't know, really. But did you know that you're the best student I've ever had? Maybe you won't become a famous painter, but you can win the Easter drawing contest and become famous for something else.
Why was Layla always speaking in these weird riddles? Layla helped me a lot, and in the end, with my own effort and her dedication, I won the Easter drawing contest. After the contest, I felt closer to Layla than I had ever felt to anyone before, even though she was still a mystery. Then 10 months later, Grandma started picking on Layla one day. It was totally out of the blue at dinner time.
Dear, I assume your parents are successful painters?
No, ma'am. It's just me who likes to paint. My parents are doctors. But like I said, now they're on vacation.
On vacation? For almost a year, and you haven't displayed your paintings in galleries, started a business, and made something of yourself?
Ma'am, I'm only 17.
By the time I was 17, I was already starting my own startup. Your freeloader is what you are.
Grandma!
Excuse me, but I think I'll go to my room now.
I watched Layla get up from the table as her eyes filled with tears. Why was Grandma being so cruel all of a sudden? I was used to her bullying my parents, but Layla, I could barely stand it. I jumped up to follow Layla. Layla, wait! Don't take what Grandma said to heart. I told you she can be mean sometimes.
Your grandma's right. Miriam, I have to tell you something.
What is it?
I lied before. My parents aren't on a trip. The truth is, I am homeless. After my parents died, I tried going to an orphanage, but they didn't take care of me, so I ran away. And I've been living on the streets so far. I've been able to keep it a secret at our school, but I'm worried one day they'll find out.
Oh, Layla, I had no idea. Listen, if I tell Grandma about your situation, she'll understand. She always agrees with whatever I say, no matter what. But when I told Grandma Layla's story, her face turned white with anger. She looked like a statue.
I want her out of my house. Miriam, I can't believe I ever agreed to let a filthy child criminal into my home. She leaves today, and I'm calling the police.
Grandma, you can't do that. It wasn't her fault. I want her to stay here and teach me art. She's the bestest friend I've ever had. And for the first time ever, Grandma turned her anger on me.
You don't know what you're saying, Miriam. You're just a silly child. Layla leaves my house today, like it or not.
Then something inside me burst. Grandma, I've had enough of your cruelty. You bully everyone around you, and I'm sick of it. You have no idea what Layla's gone through, and you have no idea what she means to me. Without waiting a split second, I ran back to my bedroom to find Layla. But she wasn't there. Where had she gone? All of a sudden, I saw Layla outside the window with a backpack. She was walking farther and farther away from our house. I dashed outside. Layla, where are you going? Layla just ignored me and kept walking. I ran up to her and grabbed her arm. Layla, please don't leave. You were right about Grandma. She is a bully, and I finally stood up to her. I don't care about what she wants. I care about you, Miriam.
I think you better forget about me. It's for the best.
What do you mean? I could never forget about you.
You're not my family, Miriam. I don't have any family. Nobody loves me. I'm just your art teacher. That's all I ever was.
Before I could say another word, Layla left. I tried chasing her. I never knew someone could run so fast. But after miles of sprinting, I collapsed on the ground and I burst into tears. I didn't get home until midnight. Grandma and my parents stood in the living room next to our giant, fancy fireplace. Grandma's eyes looked like they were on fire.
You spoiled, awful child. Yelling at me and then vanishing out into the night. I should have you locked up in jail.
Okay. Let's go easy.
She made a mistake. She's still your sweet Miriam, isn't she?
She was my sweet Miriam. That was before she became friends with a dirty homeless and spoke back to me. And if she keeps painting, she'll be a dirty homeless too.
I don't care what you say, Grandma. I am going to keep painting, even if I do end up poor.
Why don't you show me a few of your paintings then?
I will. I'm really good in my room. I grabbed every painting of mine I could find. Here, look at how many paintings I've done. And you know what? I'm proud of them.
Wow, honey, we didn't know you did that many.
They look beautiful.
Oh, darling. Let me see.
Then suddenly, Grandma tossed my paintings into our giant fireplace. No!
Mom, how could you?
I threw myself on the floor and cried harder than ever. My beautiful paintings were gone, and Layla was gone.
That's it. That was the last straw. We're moving out of your mansion. We're tired of your cruelty.
That's the silliest thing I've ever heard. You can't live without my fancy riches.
But the very next week, my parents and I packed up our stuff and moved into a new place. It was smaller, and it didn't have a tennis court, and I still couldn't stop thinking about Layla and where she could be. Then one day, I found a letter taped to my window. It was signed with Layla's name. Meet me at our hiking trail. I took the very next bus to our trail and tried calling Layla's name, but there was no answer. Then suddenly, who should I see but Grandma? Grandma, what on earth are you doing here?
Darling, I wrote the note taped to your window. I was afraid you wouldn't come to meet me otherwise. And I remembered this was your favorite place to come with Layla.
You mean Layla isn't here? I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to her.
Sweetie, I'll do anything to help you find her. But first, I want to apologize for being so awful to you and burning your paintings. I love you, sweetheart.
Grandma started to cry and came over to hug me.
I've been a bully your whole life to your parents and now to you. After I saw your face when I burned your paintings, I realized I wanted to change. I love you, Miriam.
I love you too, Grandma, but it's gonna take me some time to forgive you.
I understand. I don't expect you to ever forgive me, but know that I'm here, and my house is always open to you. And if you do ever find Layla again, you both can move back in with me. I'll adopt her.
Grandma left at that moment, and I stood in the middle of the hiking trail, and then suddenly, I saw Layla sitting on top of a rock. Layla! But as soon as Layla saw me, she started to run up the hiking trail. I chased her as fast as I could, but she was just running and climbing higher. Please wait up.
Go away, Miriam.
Layla, please don't run away from me. I raced up the hiking trail and tried to catch up with Layla, but she was so far ahead of me, I couldn't even see her. Suddenly, I heard a loud cry from above. I looked up to see Layla stuck between two rocks. She looked like she was ready to fall.
Please, someone help me.
Layla, I'm here! Hang on! I rushed to Layla as fast as I could and tried to pull her up, but she wouldn't budge.
My hand is slipping. Do something.
I grabbed Layla with all my might, and she was finally free. Layla and I fell on top of each other and started laughing, but suddenly, Layla looked at me.
Miriam, you're all scratched up.
It's fine, Layla. I don't care. What matters to me is that you're okay. I couldn't live without you.
Really? I mean that much to you?
Yes! You're the most amazing friend and teacher I've ever had. I used to be so bratty and babyish. I had my grandma to run my whole life, but you've changed me. Even though we're not related by blood, you are my family.
Do you really mean that?
Yes, Layla, I talked to my grandma. She apologized for everything. And she said if I ever found you, she'd adopt you.
Oh, Miriam, that's the best news I've ever heard. We'll paint up here every day. I'll teach you everything.
We will. Even if we're never famous, I'll always keep painting with you. I love you, Layla.
I love you too.
Hi, everyone. My name is Paige, and I'm from Tennessee. Please like and subscribe. My mom was a former beauty queen, and I was born with the same gorgeous looks. Everyone thought I'd follow in her footsteps. I loved being admired and getting attention until I got interested in what my dad did. He was an important politician who worked very closely with the president, and growing up, I wanted to be more like him. But Mom was more keen on teaching me how to put on makeup and walk in heels. I was only 8 when she started taking me for modeling classes. The instructors tried teaching me how to catwalk and pose in front of the camera, but I would deliberately strike the dumbest poses, and they'd all give up.
Why do you do this every time, Paige?
Because I don't want to be a model, Mom. I'd always run away from her and go and seek comfort in Dad. He'd tell me some awesome stories about work, and I'd have the best time. But eventually, Dad started climbing up powerful positions in government and got really busy, and I'd hardly get to see him. One day in 5th grade, I was decorating my house for Easter, when suddenly, I saw that half of my decorations were gone. I looked around and spotted a boy my age running away with all my decorative eggs. Hey, stop right there! I jumped onto him and pinned him to the floor. Who are you and why are you stealing my stuff?
I wasn't stealing, I swear. I'm your neighbor and I was just trying to prank you.
So you're a liar and a thief! That house has been empty for ages.
Yeah, but we just moved in, Dumbo.
But I just pulled his hair harder when his parents came running and saved him. And it turns out they indeed had moved into the house next to mine. And that boy Carson was even gonna go to the same school as me. From the very first day, he was super popular, cause he was cute and all the girls were buzzing around him like he was some queen bee. But since I already knew him, I wanted him to be my friend first. If you want, I can save you from all the trouble of making new friends. You can just hang out with me.
And why would I want to do that?
I held him by the collar and pulled him with me. This is my secret hideout at school, and I'm sharing it with you. So now we're friends, and you're not letting any of those girls near you. Got it?
Gosh, you're really bossy. This place is cool, so sure, it's a deal.
After that, Carson and I started hanging out together, and we became really close, and Mom didn't like it. She said it wasn't girly to have a male friend. Whatever. I'd sneak out of the house and play football with Carson. and in no time, we became the bestest of friends. And slowly, I started to fall in love with him, and that bothered Mom continuously. One night, I planned to sneak into his room to play video games, but Mom caught me and started screaming at me non-stop.
Just let her be, honey. Let her do what she likes.
Oh, Dad, you're back. Dad was rarely home, but whenever he'd be back, he'd let me do what I wanted. And I thought he was the perfect parent, unlike Mom, who always tried to boss me around. Then a few days later, I was turning 16, and I decided to tell Carson how I felt about him. But when I reached school, I saw him talking to a new girl. After she walked away, Carson turned to me and gave me the shock of my life.
She's gonna be the mother of my future kids.
You're what?
You heard it, Paige, and you're my brother. You're gonna help me get her, right?
What, are you nuts? How can you even think that?
Ah, shoot. I'm so stupid. I completely forgot you're not that much into girly stuff yourself, so I don't think you'll be that much help to me. I'll just have to win her all on my own.
Saying that he just left me there and I felt crushed. I cried my heart out in our secret spot. But then suddenly I saw a girl passing from a distance and all the boys were going crazy over her. Her name was Lola and she was an ace student. 2 weeks after joining school, she even became the cheerleading captain. I felt jealous and planned to annoy her as much as possible. I kept trying to make her look bad in front of Carson and kept failing. Did you see her today? Who wears full purple to school? She looked like a plum.
I know, right? She looks so cute.
You know, she must change boyfriends every day, given she has so many boys after her. You're just gonna get your heart broken if you chase her.
Ah, come on. You know I'm the most handsome guy at school and she's the only one who'll look good next to me.
When this didn't work, I began pranking her in the classroom so she'd lose her temper, but instead, she behaved so nicely and let it all go in good humor. One time, as she was walking inside the school, I even made a small puppy pee on her Jimmy Choos, but she just picked it up and started playing with it. God, she was an angel. It was really hard to hate her, so I decided to try something else. Pretend to be her friend. Gosh, you're so pretty and nice. I wish I could.
Hey, I'm gonna stop you right there. I'm sorry, but I'm just not into girls. But I have a friend who lives in New York, and she would totally dig you.
What? No, I'm not into girls either. Why would you think that?
'Cause you keep following me around all the time. I don't want to be rude, especially since your mom is amazing.
What? How do you know her?
Well, everyone knows about her. She was a super famous model in her time, but she gave up her career for her family. She sounds like an amazing mom.
Well, I never thought of it that way. But as we continued talking, I realized Lola was a very nice person. We often hung out together, but instead of faking it, I started to become a real friend to her. And Carson thought I was doing it all for him.
You're amazing, Paige. I can't believe you arranged a date for us.
For the last time, I didn't invite you. It's supposed to be just me and Lola. Go away. Even though I'd have so much fun with Lola, I hated Carson trying to hit on her all the time. But he'd invite himself to all the places we'd go. Soon, it was Lola's birthday, and she'd invited both me and Carson to her place. But when I reached there, I was shocked to see my dad. Dad, what are you doing here?
Paige, what? What are you doing here?
Your dad. I didn't know he was your dad.
Turns out Dad and Lola's mom were high school BFFs. And later, Lola told me my dad and her mom hung out together often. And he even helped Lola with her projects and stuff. And that made me feel really weird, given I barely saw Dad at home these days. But Dad brushed off all my doubts on her way home when he told me he was inviting Lola and her mom for a picnic to introduce them to Mom. The next day, everyone joined us on the picnic, including Carson. But the entire time, I could see Mom getting a bit jealous, seeing Dad and Lola's mom talking and laughing at a distance, and so was I. But then suddenly, Mom lost consciousness and fell to the ground. Mom, are you okay? I was devastated as we rushed Mom to the hospital, and the worst thing happened when she woke up.
Who are you?
Mom, what are you saying? It's me. The doctor came in and told us that she had amnesia, and this just broke my heart. The entire way home, Mom looked at us like she was going back home with strangers. We showed her all the family albums, but nothing triggered her memory. Lola kept calling and texting me to ask about Mom while I took some days off from school, but I didn't reply. It annoyed me that Dad and her mom were suddenly best friends, and somehow I just wanted to avoid her. One day, while Mom sat in the garden alone, I went and joined her. Mom, how are you feeling now?
I'm feeling better, but I'm sorry, I still don't remember much.
You don't have to apologize about anything. and then she asked me tons of questions. And I was happy to relive all those memories with her.
So, do you have a boyfriend?
I kinda have someone I like, but he doesn't see me as girlfriend material.
What? What do you mean? You're my daughter, and there's no way you can go unnoticed by any guy.
She pulled me into her room and gave me a makeover. And this time, I didn't say anything. 'Cause I wanted to spend all the time with her and let her love me the way she wanted. The next day, when I reached school, everyone's jaw dropped. And by lunchtime, my phone and locker were full of love messages.
Whoa, you look like a whole new person, Paige. I didn't know you were.
A girl.
No, that's not what I meant.
Cut it, Carson! I'm still the same person on the inside. You know, the one you don't like is anything more than a friend, and never will.
Paige, I like you the most. You've been my favorite person ever since childhood, and I was a fool to chase Lola, but then slowly I realized I was losing you, and I don't want that. I want to be with you.
You're just telling me this because I look pretty now.
No. Trust me, Paige. You're the one I love, even when you're in shorts and sneakers playing football. I wanted to tell you my true feelings earlier, but you were so upset with everything going on with your mom.
Listening to those words, I felt good, but something in my heart felt uneasy. So I walked away. But Carson would stop at nothing to convince me of his feelings. He'd walk back home with me every day and spend time with me and Mom. And slowly, over a couple of months, Mom's memories started to get better. She could recognize both me and Dad, and I was really happy about it. But then one day, something bizarre happened. I got home and saw Mom was crying her eyes out, and Dad and Lola's mom were also there. Mom, what's wrong? And then she told me how she found Dad making out with Lola's mom on our couch. What? Dad?
Okay, yeah. And what's wrong with that? I don't think there's anything to cry about. I love Lily and she loves me. And with your mom being so sick and all, I can't handle the pressure of my work. And the elections are coming up. I want a partner who can support me.
I couldn't believe my ears. This wasn't the same person who I'd thought of as my idol all my life. You're the worst. All this time, when Mom needed you the most, you've been cheating on her. Probably even from before that. Both of you, please get out. The two of them left, and I hugged Mom tight. Later that night, Lola called me, but I didn't pick up. She approached me in school the next day, but I started walking in the other direction.
Wait, please, just a minute.
Can't you take a hint? Lola, I don't want to hear anything you have to say. Go home and enjoy time with my dad and be a perfect family. Just stay away from me. I'd spent most of my time with Mom to comfort her, and we grew closer than ever before. Even if she hadn't always been the perfect parent, she'd always been there. A few weeks later, I came home after doing some grocery shopping when I found Lola kissing Carson in my backyard. What the heck? The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it? You're just like your mom.
No, Paige. I was here to warn you about this jerk, but then he just grabbed me.
What?
She's lying.
Lola said she'd rejected Carson the same day Mom fainted at the picnic.
I thought it was weird that Carson asked you out right after asking me, but I didn't say anything. But then he kept texting me and told me he was with you just to make me realize my true feelings for him. But do you know what my true feelings are for you, Carson? You're a jerk, and I hate you.
What a liar. She jumped onto me and tried to kiss me. Trust me, Paige.
But then, Lola took out her phone and showed me all of the chats, and she was right. Carson, you jerk! I can't believe I trusted someone like you and never realized what kind of person you are. Get out of my house! I pushed Carson so hard he fell on his butt and then angrily left.
Paige, I'm sorry. I know what my mom did was wrong, but I had no idea about anything going on between them. Even I hate them both for what they did.
You don't have to be sorry about anything. Lola, I know it wasn't your fault, but I took my anger out on you.
Then please, let's get back to being friends again. I'm moving out of my mom's place for college next year anyway. What our parents did doesn't have to ruin what we have. I don't want to lose a friend like you, Paige.
I don't want to lose you either, Lola. Hi, I'm Kaylee from LA. Please like and subscribe. Ever since I was a little girl, I've always loved to sing. My grandma was a professional singer. She sang around the world with the most prestigious orchestras and operas. I miss her and her voice so much. When I got to 10th grade, I became the singer of the family. I went to the most prestigious performing arts school on the West Coast. My favorite class was music, of course, and my favorite club so far was show choir. We had been the best in the state for 14 years, with the trophies to prove it. My best friend, Addison, is also in show choir with me. He and I met in kindergarten and have been inseparable ever since. He's the funniest guy I've ever known. He's also gotten pretty cute over the years too. Or at least that's what all the girls in school think. But I just don't see him that way. Hard to see someone that way when they used to sneak over from next door and put frogs in your bed. Yuck! One day, our show choir teacher, Ms. Conrad, had big news for us.
We've been asked to compete at this year's National Show Choir competition.
All right.
Yeah! But to ensure we get top scores, the soloists will have to be chosen very carefully.
Ms. Conrad told us that we were going to have to audition for the big solo right in front of each other in 1 week. My nemesis, Heidi, started bragging in front of the whole group.
We all know who's gonna get it! Me, of course. Everyone knows I have the stage presence of a star.
I don't know. I think Kaylee might give you a run for your money. She's got star power and the voice to match.
The others' eyes widened. Were they about to fight? Just then, the bell rang. As everyone left the class, I swatted Addison on the arm. Don't start fights with Heidi. She's my biggest competition.
That's exactly why you have to stand up for yourself in front of her.
I just don't want anyone to think I think I'm better than her.
Well, then I guess that's why I'm here. To remind them for you.
Oh, what would I do without you?
Good thing we'll never have to find out.
I was so nervous, even though I'd sung in front of our choir before. But the pressure was on the whole week leading up to auditions. I practiced in the shower, in the bathroom, between classes. I really wanted to beat out Heidi for the big solo at the end of the show. Finally, audition day arrived. I woke up, put on my cutest outfit, curled my hair, and took extra time with my makeup. After all, if I'm gonna be a big star one day, I might as well start dressing like it now. When I stepped out of my house to walk to school with Addison, his cheeks turned super red. What's wrong?
Nothing, you just look different is all. Your hair is.
Oh no! Does it look bad? Maybe I should have worn it up. I'll just go chance.
No, leave it. You look good. Great.
When I arrived in class, Heidi was sitting in the front row, looking totally perfect. What was I thinking? With her shiny hair, big eyes, and as much as I hated to admit it, her beautiful voice. Why would anyone ever look twice at me? But I just tried to remember what my grandma would always say.
It's not about who sings the loudest or looks the prettiest. As long as your song comes from your heart, people can't help but listen.
So I took a deep breath and sat down next to Heidi, right in the front row. She gave me a once-over and rolled her eyes. Who cared what she thought? I knew I looked great. Miss Conrad sat down at the piano and called Heidi up first. After she finished singing, I applauded politely along with everyone else. Then it was my turn. I stood confidently and turned to face everyone. Addison gave me a thumbs up from the back row. Such a good friend! Ms. Conrad played the opening notes for my song when suddenly the door to the classroom burst open behind me. I turned to look, and standing in the doorway was the most handsome boy I'd ever seen. Tall, with long brown hair that felt perfectly into his eyes. He looked just like a fairy tale prince. My jaw dropped. He handed a note to Ms. Conrad.
Class, this is our newest addition, Patrick.
He waved to everyone, then put his hand on my shoulder, looked deep into my eyes, and said,
I'm so sorry I interrupted your audition. Knock 'em dead.
Then he took my seat right in the front row. I gulped. Oh, now I was nervous again. I shook off my nerves, took a deep breath, and nodded to Ms. Conrad as she played. I could feel the music filling me up all the way to the top. I opened my mouth to sing and let my song come from my heart. When I finished, the whole class burst into applause. I felt like I was walking on air. Patrick got up to sing something last minute. He was so good. The next day, Ms. Conrad put up the list and I had gotten the solo. And she'd even added a duet in the middle of the show for Patrick to sing with me.
Looks like it's you and me, Kaylee. I'm so honored to be singing with someone as talented as you.
I felt my cheeks turn red, and he grinned.
You're so cute when you blush like that. Be careful, or I might just fall in love.
He walked away with a wink at me. I couldn't believe he'd just said that. And neither could Heidi, who'd been listening around the corner.
Don't get too comfy with that solo. Once Miss Conrad figures out that you'll cave at the first sign of pressure, I'll be ready to step in.
Eavesdrop much? Jealousy isn't your color, Heidi. The next day, we started rehearsing for nationals. Everyone was working so hard, and Patrick and I sounded great together. But when it came to our dance, it was like I'd suddenly grown a second left foot.
No, Kaylee, no. Once more from the top.
Miss Conrad, I'm happy to come up front and show Kaylee how it's done.
Not necessary, but thank you, Heidi.
Just here for the team.
After I knocked Patrick over by mistake for the third time, Ms. Conrad called it a day.
Kaylee, please go home and practice.
Ugh! I could have wiped that smug look off of Heidi's face. Everyone went to start packing up their bags, and I started to head backstage to get my bag when Patrick came up to me.
Hey, gorgeous. Want to stay and practice a little with me? Then it'll be perfect by tomorrow.
Oh, I wouldn't want to impose. Your toes must be all bruised.
That's okay. I really don't mind. And I wouldn't mind spending a little quality time with my co-star.
Well, if you insist. Just then, Addison came up to us.
Hey, Kaylee, ready to go?
That's okay. I should really practice a little longer.
I can practice with you. I could use a few run-throughs myself.
Oh, well, Patrick already offered to stay behind and practice with me here.
He did he? How are you gonna get home?
I can drive her.
Oh, do you live in our neighborhood?
No, but
I mean, if it's not really convenient for you.
I'm not spending time with Kaylee because it's convenient.
Neither am I.
I'm spending time with her because she's cool.
My face turned bright red. Did he really mean that? Addison, I'm gonna stay here too. Just for a bit to practice. I'll see you later, okay?
Fine. If you insist, I'll see you when you get home.
He turned on his heel and walked out. Patrick turned to me with a grin on his face and held out his hand.
Shall we?
We practiced more, and I was finally getting good. Patrick swung me out for our final spin, then pulled me in close and dipped me. That's when I noticed his face was just so close. His ice blue eyes staring deep into mine. Was he gonna kiss me? Just then, all the lights in the theater went out. Patrick dropped me in shock and I shrieked. All of a sudden, the lights came back on, and Ms. Conrad stepped back on stage.
Oh, hey, kids. I am so sorry. I didn't realize you were still here.
Ugh, I couldn't believe she'd interrupted our moment. Still, we waved goodbye to her and headed out. A little while later, when Patrick dropped me off, he got out of his car to open my door. Such a gentleman!
It was nice hanging out tonight. I'll see you tomorrow, superstar.
Then he wrapped his arms around me and gave me a big hug. Is this what heaven smelled like? Then I headed up the front walk to my door.
So, do you like him or something?
I whipped around and saw Addison waiting on our front porch swing. I don't know, maybe. He's so cute and really talented.
Okay, cool. I guess, do you still want to practice?
That's okay. I think I got it now.
Okay then. Well then, I guess I'll see you tomorrow. Here, I got you a milkshake.
Hey, thanks! He started crossing the yard towards his house. Is it?
Cookies and cream. Your favorite.
Thanks, I'll see you tomorrow.
You know it!
Then it was finally time for nationals. As we arrived at the concert hall, I was overwhelmed by all the other groups here and overheard one girl say to another,
She was a little flat at the end.
I couldn't believe it! What if I lost us the whole competition? All night and throughout all our warm-ups the next day. It was all I could think about. If I messed up again, I'd be letting everyone down, including myself. And there were several famous music industry people judging the competition. What if I ended my career as a singer before it even started? And then, it was almost time to go up. I tried to calm down, but I was shaking like a leaf.
Miss Conrad, Kaylee doesn't look so good.
Miss Conrad came over. She looked pretty nervous herself.
Kaylee, you look terrible. Are you going to be able to perform?
Of course
Because if you're sick, I can always put Heidi on.
I'm ready to go, Miss Conrad!
Just then, I spotted Patrick warming up down the hall. I just need a minute! I raced down the hall towards him. He was stretching, shaking out his hands, jumping up and down. Patrick! His expression was so strange. Was he nervous too? I'm so nervous. Do you think we could practice?
Kaylee, I'm kind of busy.
What if we?
I really just need some space here. Kaylee.
Yesterday you said we were a team. That doesn't feel like a team to me.
I can't do this right now. Could you leave me alone?
Fighting back tears, I ran down the hall and found a corner backstage. I couldn't let anyone see me so upset, especially not Ms. Conrad or Heidi. What was I gonna do? Suddenly, Addison stepped out of the shadows. He looked so handsome in his costume.
Kaylee, are you okay?
I threw my arms around him. He caught me and squeezed tight. I'm so nervous. I overheard one of the other teams say I sounded bad. Ms. Conrad is ready to replace me with Heidi. Patrick isn't any help, and there's amazing industry people out there. And ugh!
You sounded amazing in rehearsal. Those other teams were just jealous. Forget about Patrick and Heidi. Remember why you love to sing? What was it your grandma always said?
Sing from your heart.
Exactly. Just do that.
I took a few deep breaths, and Addison was right. Will you just run the last part of the number with me?
Of course.
And there, in our little corner of the theater, we stepped, we twirled, we kicked in time together. Addison took my hand, spun me around, and dipped me low. I felt his arm slip. He was dropping me, but right before I was sure I'd hit the ground, he caught me with a twinkle in his eye. I swatted his arm. You tricked me.
I'd never drop you. And even if I did, I'll always be here to catch you.
Thank you, Addison. Then he smiled at me so genuinely, and my heart fell into my stomach. What was that?
Places, please. Students' places. Kaylee, are you ready?
Yes, Ms. Conrad. As we all rushed to take our spots to start our number, Addison shot me a wink.
Knock 'em dead, superstar.
You too. As soon as the lights came up on stage, I felt a little thrill of excitement. We danced, we sang, we twirled. Everyone had brought their A game. When it came time for my duet with Patrick, we totally nailed it. But any spark that had been there was gone. As the opening chords of my solo began, the lights shined down on me, and I opened my mouth, and the music poured from my heart. I knew my grandma was right there with me. I hit my final note and held it out forever as everyone finished their steps behind me. As we struck our final pose, the crowd erupted into applause. A standing ovation! I beamed. We totally nailed it. That night, after all the points had been tallied, all the teams gathered on stage behind the judges. Addison reached for my hand and I squeezed back. Thanks for the pep talk. I could have never done it without you.
Of course you could have. I'm just here to remind you.
You're always there for me. He leaned in close, and I felt a flutter in my stomach as he whispered in my ear.
And I always will be, if you let me.
I turned to look directly in his eyes.
Kaylee, I have to tell you.
Just then, the announcer started announcing the winners. Second place, runner-up. Our whole team clasped hands and took a deep breath together.
And the grand prize for this year's National Show Choir competition goes to...
As they said our name, the crowd roared. It was so loud I could hardly think. Confetti rained down on us as Ms. Conrad stepped forward to accept our trophy. I threw my arms around Addison, and he picked me up, swinging me in a circle. We did it! We did it! As we packed up our things in the dressing room and said goodbye to the new friends we'd made at the competition, one of the judges knocked on our dressing room door. He was an exec for a record label back in LA.
I was so impressed with you. Your vocals were so clear and you've got some real presence up there. Give me a call if you think you'd be interested in recording a single.
He handed me his card, and I shook his hand, totally awestruck. Maybe dreams really do come true. I felt so relieved. Not only had I not let everyone down, but I'd made myself proud. On the beach, Addison sat down next to me, running a hand through his hair. When he saw me watching, he grinned, and the butterflies were back.
I'm totally beat, aren't you?
Definitely. I got you something.
Oh yeah?
I pulled out a bag of gummy worms and your favorite.
You're the best, Kay.
He ripped open the bag and dug in. Hey, Addison, what was it you were gonna tell me earlier?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Well, I have something I want to tell you.
Yeah?
I like you.
Really?
Really.
I like you too. I have for a while now.
Really?
Really.
He took my hand and, I know, my cheeks turned pink.
I got something for you too.
Ooh, okay. I love presents. And then he put his hand on my cheek, leaned in close, and kissed me. It was the perfect end to a perfect day.
Sally walked through the door in the back alley straight into the crazy restaurant kitchen. She spotted her mom stirring 3 pots while the head chef screamed at everyone.
Faster! Faster!
Sally walked up to her mom and tugged at her apron.
Mom, I need to ask you something. Right now? Yes, right now. What is it then? Spit it out.
Mom, where's my daddy?
Suddenly, the bowl her mother was holding crashed to the floor.
Oh my God, you stupid woman! You're fired! Get out!
A minute later, Sally and her mother found themselves out on the street.
Mom, I'm really sorry.
You wanted to know about your dad, huh?
Yeah, we had to make a family tree in school.
Well, he's not your family. He's a good-for-nothing loser who left us. I'm your mom and your dad. And look, just mentioning him made me lose my job. He's bad luck. Not a word about him ever again.
As they walked back home in silence, Sally wondered who her dad was and why he'd left. What she didn't know was that her mom wasn't telling the truth. Her dad didn't even know she existed. One day in the 10th grade, Sally was waitressing at a restaurant when suddenly a woman started to choke on something. Sally rushed to her and performed the Heimlich maneuver till she coughed out a piece of chicken.
Oh my God, you saved my life.
As all the customers applauded, the woman took Sally's hand and dragged her outside.
I don't know how to thank you, but let me try.
She took off a large diamond ring on her finger and pushed it in Sally's palm. Sally tried to refuse, but she wouldn't hear a word and just left. When Sally and her mom had the ring valued, it turned out to be worth a whopping $1.2 million. This could change their lives. They sold the ring, and with the money, they decided to move to a better house. One night, Sally's mom slipped into the attic and took an old letter out of the box. She went downstairs and threw it in the fireplace. She didn't want Sally to ever read it. The letter said, "I'm so sorry that you had a miscarriage and you had to go through it alone. I know you hate me, but please let me help you. I really do love you, and I always will. Charles." But what she didn't know was that a few days ago, Sally had been looking for something in the attic, and she'd already found the letter, and it kept haunting her. Sally looked for anything she could find on her dad and found out he was a wealthy businessman. She'd never be at peace till she met him just once. So one night she packed her bags, took some of the ring money, and left home. She took a train to the city where her dad lived. Now all she had to do was find a way to get close to him. The next morning at breakfast, Sally spat out her coffee when she saw an ad in the newspaper for a nanny by her dad's family. 24/7 nanny needed for an 8-year-old girl. PS only apply if you have a sophisticated British accent.
Wow, that's perfect.
Sally thought to herself.
I can fake that.
When Sally went for the interview, her jaw dropped at the size of the mansion, and there was a long line of nannies at the front door. As she joined the line, a little girl peeked out from behind a tree, looking angrily at the nannies. Just then, she spotted Sally and their eyes met. Sally started walking over to her. That must be her half-sister.
What are you doing, sweetheart?
I'm Cynthia. I'm running away. What does it look like?
Oh, I see. But why?
'Cause my mom's getting me an old cranky nanny again.
Well, what if I was your nanny?
You don't look old or cranky.
I'm not, darling. I'm full of nonsense and fun.
Please be my nanny. You sound freaking funny.
Meanwhile, what was happening in the mansion was crazy. Cynthia's mom couldn't find her anywhere and was certain someone had kidnapped her. She'd gone down to the police station, and when she got back with some officers, she found Cynthia and Sally.
Officers, arrest her! You get away from my daughter.
No, Mommy, she's my new nanny.
What, you don't get to decide that, Cynthia. We have no idea what kind of person this girl is, and she looks too poor.
Mom, you always choose my nannies, and they're awful. It's either her or no one.
Cynthia's mom had no choice, so she hired Sally and asked her to move in. Sally was so excited that she'd finally meet her dad, but the poor thing had no clue that she had so much trouble ahead of her. When Sally left for her room, Bella, Cynthia's sister, showed up.
Oh, you're back! I was hoping this time you were gone for good, brah.
Oh yeah, I'm back, witch. And guess what? I picked my own nanny. Wait till you see her. She's so much prettier than you. I can't wait for your boyfriend to meet her. Maybe he'll finally dump you.
Watch your mouth, you little monster!
And with that, Bella pulled Cynthia's hair and they both started screaming. Sally heard them and came running to save Cynthia.
Hey, leave that kid alone or I'm calling the police.
What? Do you have any idea who you're talking to?
Well, I don't care who you are, and you don't have any right to hurt a kid like that.
Oh, I have the right to hurt anyone I like. Like now, for example.
And with that, Bella attacked Sally, and they both started wrestling on the floor. Cynthia started screaming and ran off to call her parents. Just then, a man barged in and pulled them apart.
Who are you, and why are you hurting my daughter?
Sally looked stunned when she saw her dad for the first time, and she couldn't say a word.
Daddy, this is my nanny, the nicest person on earth. Bella is just evil.
Sally's dad looked straight into her eyes, and for a moment she almost thought he knew who she was. But then, he just turned to Bella and said,
To your room, now.
As Bella was leaving, she turned to Sally.
I swear I'm gonna make you regret the day you entered this house.
She stormed out of the room, and suddenly, Sally's dad turned to her.
Listen, don't ever touch my kids again. Is that clear? Don't forget your place if you want to stay here.
And with that, he turned around and left. That night, when Sally was in bed, she suddenly heard someone opening her door. She leapt out and grabbed her special broomstick, ready to attack. But suddenly, the door barged open. She let out a scream and hit the boy with the broom, knocking him out. She started slapping his face to wake him up. When he opened his eyes, Sally saw that they were the most gorgeous hazel color. They stared at each other for a few seconds, then quickly jumped to their feet.
That was quite a greeting. You could have just said hello.
You could have just knocked.
I thought this room was empty. Who are you?
What? Who are you?
I asked first, who are you?
Hiya, I'm Sally, Cynthia's nanny. Who are you?
Oh, I'm Bella's boyfriend, Alan. Or at least I was. I think we just broke up for the 20th time.
With that, he climbed out the window.
It was nice to meet you, Sally. Also, the accent is kinda hot.
And then he left. As Alan drove off on his motorbike, he couldn't stop thinking about Sally's eyes. The next day, Sally was determined to tell her dad the truth. She waited for him in the living room, but Cynthia told her that he'd left for a business trip. Sally decided to wait for him, but she had no idea how long she'd have to. One night, Ellen crept up the wall to Sally's window and knocked gently. When she pulled back the curtains and saw him, she looked more annoyed than surprised.
If you've come back to make up with Bella, why aren't you using her window?
I'm not here for her. I'm here for you. Come with me. I want to show you something.
But what about Bella?
We broke up, remember? It's for good this time. Now come.
Sally felt hesitant, but she looked into his warm eyes and just couldn't say no. As the two climbed down and sneaked off across the gardens, they had no clue they were being watched by Bella. Bella ran across the house and burst into her mother's room.
Mom, wake up! Do you have any idea what's happening under your roof? You should have never hired that nanny.
When Bella told her mother what she'd seen, she was angry.
Poor girls like her just want to dig their claws into someone rich, and these men are idiots. But Bella, you cannot let Alan get away.
I'm trying, Mom.
Oh, poor baby. I know you are. Don't worry. Mummy will help you get rid of this nanny tonight.
A few hours later, when Sally climbed back through the window, she nearly fell back in shock to find Cynthia, Mom, and Bella sitting on her bed.
Well, hello, Sally. Where were you? Meeting up with your criminal friends?
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
That's when Cynthia's mother walked up to her, holding a diamond necklace she'd never seen.
I found this in your drawer. To think I ever let a thief like you into my house?
What?
I've packed your bags already, so just get out before I change my mind and call the police.
Sally was horrified, but she knew she had to leave now. She picked up her bags and ran out of the house in tears. While Bella and her mom were cackling upstairs, Cynthia had woken up to the noises. She peeked out of her room to see Sally running out the front door. Cynthia burst into tears and ran after her.
Sally! Sally, wait! Please don't go!
Sally didn't look back even once and got into the cab. At the gate, Cynthia kept running after till the car was out of sight. But when she turned to go back, she didn't realize she'd taken the wrong route. Back at the mansion, Cynthia's mother had found out she was gone. She screamed and woke up all the servants to go out and search for Cynthia. Cynthia's mother called up Sally immediately.
Of course she's not with me, ma'am. I don't know where she is.
Sally, you have to come back right now and help me find my baby. I know, if anyone can find Cynthia, it's you. Please, I'm begging you.
Sally immediately asked the cab driver to take her back to the mansion. When she was close, she suddenly shouted,
Wait! Stop right here!
She jumped out of the cab and picked up a teddy bear from the road. It was Cynthia's. Cynthia had realized by now that she was completely lost. Suddenly, she looked up to see Sally and ran straight into her arms. Cynthia's mother ran out crying when she saw the two walking in through the gate and hugged her tight.
Mom, is Sally going somewhere? If she leaves, I'm going to run away again.
Cynthia's mother grit her teeth. Her plan had failed, but she had no choice. Bella was absolutely furious. As Sally walked back into her room, Bella suddenly grabbed her wrist and whispered,
Listen to me, witch. You're only back here because you seem to be very lucky. But don't you dare go near my boyfriend ever again!
With no clue of what had happened the night before, Alan reluctantly went to the mansion the next morning. Bella's mother had called him in. When he walked into the living room, he found Bella and her mother there.
Before you say anything, Mrs. Charles, please hear me out. I can't do this anymore. I don't love your daughter. And...
Suddenly, Bella's mom flung over a small table, angrily smashing a vase to pieces.
You stupid boy. What's the love got to do with anything? This marriage is really important to both our families, and I don't think your parents will be thrilled to know you've been going out with the help.
I don't know what you're...
Stay away from the nanny, Alan. She really needs this job, and I'll make her life miserable if I see you near her. Now you two grow up. No more breakups and nonsense.
When Sally went downstairs, she almost fell back in shock to see Bella sitting in Alan's lap. She felt so foolish for believing his lies.
We broke your heart!
Sally started to walk away, but Alan pushed Bella aside and went after Sally, gently grabbing her wrist.
Alan, what is wrong with you? What do you think I am? Some toy for you to play with? I don't want you coming near me again.
Sally, you need to listen to me.
No, she doesn't, you jerk.
And with that, Bella attacked him. Sally tried to pull her away, and then Bella attacked her.
What is going on here?
Sally turned around in horror to see her dad, and he looked really mad.
Sir, this was my fault, not hers.
Oh, is that? You will be marrying my daughter next week. I'll talk to your father tonight. Sally, leave my house now.
Sally decided she couldn't hold it any longer.
I've been waiting for you, Mr. Charles, because there's something I need to.
I don't want to hear another word. Leave. Please leave my house.
No, you need to listen to me. I'm your...
Hi, I'm Joy from Chicago. Please like and subscribe. My parents always loved to call me a unique child. When I was little, I was always making toy buildings out of random stuff. Seashells, bottles, cereal boxes, anything I could get my hands on. I was also kind of shy and found it more fun to help out with chores at home than play with other kids. One day, Mom was teaching me how to make pancakes when she suddenly stopped and stared at me.
Sweetie, what's the matter? Am I going too fast for you?
No, Mommy. Everything's fine.
But you keep blinking a lot, like there's something wrong.
I hadn't even realized it. So Mom took me to a doctor, and I got diagnosed with an excessive blinking condition. It was nothing serious, but in school, kids started making fun of me for it, and I'd mostly just stay away from them and sit alone. One day in 3rd grade, I was making a presentation, and this stupid boy kept interrupting.
Miss Brown, why does Joy blink so much?
Just keep quiet and listen to Joy's presentation, please.
But how can I listen when Joy's eyes are doing all the talking?
The whole class burst out laughing. Just then, this kid Martin walked over to the annoying boys' table.
Hey, don't talk about Joy like that.
Oh yeah, who are you, her boyfriend?
Martin jumped on him and the two started wrestling like crazy. They both ended up in detention for a week. So after school, I snuck into the detention room and sat next to Martin. Hey, thanks for sticking up for me.
I hate when people tease you. You're like the awesomest, smartest girl in our class.
I joined Martin for detention every day, and after that we hung out all the time. It turned out he even lived in my neighborhood. I'd always been a loner, but for the first time, I had a best friend, and it was amazing. Having Martin in my life made me less shy, and I changed a lot. We stayed super close through the years, but when we reached high school, Martin gave me some news one day.
My dad's business really took off, and we're moving to another neighborhood. I'm also going to a private school.
Wow, that's super cool, but I'll really miss you.
Hey, why don't you apply for a scholarship? Then we can still be at the same school.
My parents were happy for me to try to get into a better school, so I applied for the scholarship and I got in. Little did I know that it was the worst decision ever. On the first day of 9th grade, I almost fell over when I saw Martin. There he was, dressed head to toe in designer clothes, and was wearing a gold watch. Who are you and what did you do to my friend? And how much gel is in your hair? Dude!
This is just how the cool kids dress nowadays. You didn't know that?
No, should I?
Yeah, you should. You need a makeover, girl.
I just laughed and punched his arm. Later at lunch, a bunch of rich kids walked by our table. Hey, Martin, I've seen you around my neighborhood. Want to come to my party this Friday?
Sure. Can I bring Joy with me?
She'll have to buy new shoes first. I bet the one she's wearing right now came from a garbage dump. Hello, I'm right here, and I love these shoes.
Joy, she's joking. Calm down.
The girl walked away with her minions, and I felt so annoyed at Martin. How could he think that comment was a joke? Apparently, there were lots of kids at school who lived in Martin's neighborhood, and it seemed like he was becoming friends with them overnight. That next Monday, I didn't see Martin until lunchtime with his arm around a really pretty girl. Hey, saved a seat for you at our usual table.
Actually, I have a girlfriend now, so I'm gonna go sit with her.
Oh, okay, well, have fun. I went to sit by myself and watched Martin from afar. He looked happy, but he just wasn't acting like himself. As weeks went by, Martin got super handsome and muscular and really popular. I missed my friend, but I gave him his space. But one day, I caught Martin and his friends surrounding a younger kid, and Martin was reading his diary out loud.
Stephanie Twain, the love of my life since 5th grade.
I ran forward and snatched the diary from him. What are you doing?
What? I'm just here to entertain people. Reading idiots' diaries is my opening act.
Martin, why are you acting like this? Just because you're rich now doesn't mean you have to be a jerk.
You know what? I think you're just jealous because I have other friends now and I'm not a nerdy loser like you.
Look at me. I'm Joy, and all I do is study in the library because I have no life.
Then Martin started blinking really fast and shaking his head. Are you making fun of me? Before I could stop myself, I slapped Martin hard across the face and ran away from there. The whole rest of the day, I had to fight from crying. What a jerk! But when I got home, I forgot my troubles when I found Mom sitting in the kitchen looking really worried. What's wrong, Mom?
Joy, your dad and I are in serious debt. If we don't find a way to get some money soon, we could lose the house.
Lose the house? Are we gonna end up homeless?
No, I shouldn't have said anything. We'll be fine. Don't worry about it, honey.
But I did worry about it. I watched Avatar World videos on YouTube to take my mind off of things, but I didn't get much sleep that night. Weeks went by and things kept changing. I just focused on my studies and saw Martin from a distance turning into a completely different person. Then one day, a new guy named Cameron arrived at school. He looked like Harry Styles, and based on his Lamborghini, he was clearly rich. All the girls were drooling over him, but I just rolled my eyes and walked away. He was probably just another snooty brat, but I was surprised when Cameron came and sat next to me in my robotics class. He seemed super impressed with the robot bird I was building. I've been working on it for almost a year.
Are you like a genius? You can tell me the truth. You don't have to be modest.
Ha 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 ha! I laughed and ended up sitting with Cameron for lunch, and he never once made fun of my blinking or even asked about it. We were having a great time until Martin walked over.
Dude, what's a guy like you doing with someone like Joy? I'll introduce you to my friends. They're more your type.
Martin, why are you such a...
Sure, I'll come and say hi right now.
Cameron leaned over to me and whispered,
Trust me, you just sit back and enjoy the show.
I wondered what he was up to as he walked over to Martin's friends. And when Martin introduced his girlfriend, Cameron suddenly took her hand and kissed it.
I'm heading to a yacht party tonight. I'll offer you $500 to be my date.
His girlfriend instantly pushed Martin away and armed through Cameron's.
You got yourself a deal, cutie!
Wait, what the heck? I thought you really liked me.
Cameron pulled away from Martin's girlfriend.
Your friends really are something. I just wanted to show you that. And I don't like hanging out with fake people. Don't ever come near me or Joy again, okay?
Cameron walked back to me, and I saw Martin's face had turned really red as he stormed off furiously. I hoped he'd had some sense knocked into him. Later that week, I got some amazing news. My teachers wanted to enter my robot bird into a huge science fair with a big cash prize. If I won, I could help my parents out.
Your hard work is finally gonna pay off, Joy. I wish I were as talented.
Wait! What if you enter the science fair with me? You can help me with the finishing motion.
Are you serious? You're the coolest girl ever.
Cameron and I worked hard on it all month. The night of the fair, I reached the venue before Cameron, who was bringing the project. But hours passed and he just didn't show up. I called and texted frantically, but he wouldn't answer his phone. I was called to the stage empty-handed. The judges couldn't wait any longer. I was disqualified. But just as I was leaving the venue, Cameron showed up. Oh my God! Where were you? How could you let me down like that?
Joy, I'm so sorry. When I left the school with the project, all my tires were flat. 10 minutes later, I couldn't even call you because my phone wasn't in my bag. I don't know who stole it or slashed my tires, but I can make a guess.
Martin! I was burning with rage the next day when I saw Martin in school. I walked up to him and grabbed his collar. You heartless jerk! You did that to Cameron, didn't you?
Hey, back off! And yeah, I did, haha. But why are you so worked up? So your lover boy had to wait on the road for a while. Big deal.
It's not just about him, Martin. I missed the science fair because of what you did. You know, I've been working on that project for a year. Doesn't that mean anything to you? For a second, he looked taken aback, but then he just shrugged.
How was I supposed to know all that? Anyway, I did you a favor. You've been a nerdy loser since I met you. It's time you found a new hobby, Blinky.
I sprung forward and pushed Martin to the ground. I'm just through with you. I used to think you'd be the last person to ever hurt me, but I don't even recognize you now. You're just a big jerk bully. I turned around and fled from there. At that moment, I hated him so much. A few days later, I was studying at the library for exams and realized it was really late. As I walked out of the building, I heard laughter coming from the back alley. I went over to see what was going on and nearly fell backwards. Martin and his friends were spray painting the principal's brand new car. Are you crazy? What are you doing?
Ugh! What are you doing here, Joy?
Martin, just please stop this. You could get in so much trouble.
As if you care. Just keep walking and pretend you never saw this.
I had no choice but to leave, but seeing him this way was so frustrating. The next day when I went to school, all everyone was talking about was how the principal's car was wrecked, and he was raging mad. But in the third period, I was shocked when I was called to the principal's office.
I saw on the CCTV footage that you were on the premises last night when my car was destroyed.
But sir, I had nothing to do with it, I swear.
Oh, I know that. But I think you saw who did it.
I just stared back at him and then spoke. It was really dark. I wouldn't be able to tell you who it was for sure.
Joy, you're here at this school on a scholarship. If I don't have a name by Monday, you'll lose it for next year. I suggest you be smart and think about your future.
I walked out of the principal's office in shock. Just then, Cameron caught up with me.
Joy, what's going on? Why were you called to the principal's office?
I told him everything that had happened.
You can't just throw away your scholarship like that. You have to turn Martin in.
How can you even suggest that? He used to be my best friend, and I'm not a snitch.
He's not your best friend anymore. He's a jerk, and he deserves this. If he was a nice guy once, he's changed, Joy.
But I didn't change. I just can't do this, Cameron. I won't do this. I'll go to another school. It won't be as great as this one, but I'll be okay. Tears stung my eyes. I thought about the colleges and opportunities I'd never have now. But I was doing the right thing. That Monday, I went to the principal's office with a heavy heart, ready to lose my scholarship, but he told me the most shocking news. Martin had come to his office and confessed to destroying his car. So what's going to happen to him now?
He's already expelled, of course.
I couldn't believe it. Why did he suddenly confess? And he even took the fall for his friends. I found the other two brats who were with him that night, snickering in the hallway, and I asked them.
We don't know why that loser did it. We'd all gotten away with it.
It wasn't his idea. He just does whatever we tell him to, always trying so hard to be one of us.
I've known Martin for years, and trust me, he's 10 times better than all of you. I shut them aside and left. I was totally off the hook, but Martin was gone for good. My head was spinning. But when I got home that day, I found my parents in the living room with huge smiles.
Joy, we have the most wonderful news. We're not in debt anymore.
Are you kidding? That's amazing. But how?
Some anonymous donor paid off all the money we owe for the house. Like, we have no idea who did it.
It was probably Cameron. He's an amazing friend. I just know it was him. I rushed to my phone to call Cameron and thank him. But suddenly, I realized Cameron didn't know my landlord or anything about my house. There was only one person outside my family who did. The next morning, I took a bus to Martin's new place and knocked on his door. Hey, I have a weird question. Did you pay off our mortgage?
Yeah, I did. But hey, don't worry about it. Our moms ran into each other, and your mom told my mom everything. I told my parents I'd help them out at work every weekend if they paid your loan.
Martin, I don't understand. I thought you hated me now.
Why would I hate you? Cameron told me what you did for me. After how horrible I've been. You were gonna give up your scholarship and ruin your future for me. I guess I'm not really surprised, because that's just who you are. The best friend one could ask for. I couldn't let you do that though. I got expelled, because I deserved it. And I'm really sorry about everything.
I was so touched to see Martin's teary eyes. Hey, don't make me cry, bro. It's okay. And thank you for apologizing. I'm just glad to see my old friend back.
Me too, and for the record, Cameron's a really good guy. You have my blessing to be with him.
Yeah, I didn't ask for your blessing, but thanks anyway. Hi, my name is Pomni, from Norway, and I never thought anyone noticed me. Not until I met the sleeping boy. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start at the beginning, like and subscribe. You won't regret it. Growing up, the only person who ever noticed me was my big sister, Ragatha. My mom traveled for work so much that I even called Ragatha Mom. When I was too little to understand what was going on, my sister would take me to school, where I would sit in silence and never say a word to anyone until she picked me up again. And then I wouldn't shut up the whole way home. But she didn't mind. She liked hearing me talk, and she liked playing games with me, like making me look like one of her dolls. She would also give me a makeover using our mom's makeup. Or dress me up as a monster and have me chase her around the house. Roar! I'm gonna eat your head.
My head?
Yeah, it's the yummiest part.
You really are a little monster.
Roar! When we got older, our mom moved to another country for work. She asked if we wanted to come, but we decided to stay. Ragatha had graduated from university and had a real job now, so we didn't have much time to hang out. But every Friday, I would wait for her at the train station near my school for when she got out of work. And we would hang out all weekend. And even though we grew up, nothing really changed. Except now we didn't play dress up anymore. Now we dressed up for real to go out to dinner, or the arcade, or whatever we wanted. We had the best life. The only problem was, I was still too shy to talk to anyone, especially boys. One time when we were at the arcade, I saw a boy staring at us. Ragatha elbowed me.
He's looking at you, Pomni. Go talk to him.
My cheeks got so red, my hands all clammy. I suddenly froze up and couldn't even play the games anymore.
Okay, let's go home. You don't have to talk to any boys, but you know, it would make me really happy if you tried at least once for me.
Maybe you can talk to a boy for me, then I won't have to do any work. She gave me a dirty look, but she was only kidding. I knew she was right. I just had no idea how I would ever talk to a boy. Then one Friday, the train that was supposed to arrive didn't come.
And suddenly, I got a really bad feeling. After 30 minutes, the train finally came, but Ragatha wasn't on it. I called and called, but she didn't answer. Then finally, I got a call, but it was from a random number.
Hello?
Is this Ragatha's sister? Pomni, this is the hospital. Your sister was in an accident. She's in a coma.
All the air left my lungs. In the hospital, I found her lying there with her head bandaged. She looked like she was sleeping. They didn't know how, but she fell onto the tracks and hit her head. The doctor said it was impossible to know when she would wake up. From that day on, I started visiting her every day. I usually read to her, but one day I forgot my book, so I just talked. And when I left, I ran into the nurse in the hallway.
If you have time, maybe you can talk to him too. He's in a coma, like your sister. I think he was part of the accident she was involved with.
He was?
I think so, but we don't know who he is. He didn't have any ID when he was brought in.
He had no one to visit him. I felt so sad. I imagined my sister being here all alone, with no one to talk to her all day. Before I knew it, I was in his room. He looked a couple of years older than me. I sat down beside his bed, and without even realizing it, I was just talking to him, just like I talked to Ragatha. 30 minutes later, I was finally out of things to talk about. That's when I realized something. You know, you're the only boy I've ever talked to. You're a really good listener. I started bringing 2 books to the hospital every day after that. One for my sister, and one for the boy with no name. Something strange happened after I was reading to him for a few days. Every night when I went home, I would think about him and even dream that we met and talked and fell in love. I realized it was ridiculous to fall in love with someone I didn't even know. And the next day, when I read to him, I tried to push the thoughts away. But for some reason, I just couldn't help but think maybe it was love at first sight. That night, I decided to leave the book I had been reading to him in the hospital closet so I wouldn't forget it. But when I opened it, I saw there was a leather sketchbook inside. I opened it and saw that it was drawings of people at the train station. Every page was a different person. I flipped until I found my sister. I couldn't believe it. I realized then that the nurse was right. They must have been in the same accident. And it gave me a great idea. Maybe if I could find out what happened, I could find out who he was. I went to the train station from his drawings. It was the same one Ragatha used to come and see me after work on Fridays. I saw a woman waiting for the train. Excuse me, do you know about an accident that happened here a few weeks ago?
Yes, I was here. A young woman fell from the platform as the train was coming and she hit her head. She would have died. But then the boy jumped down and picked her up. But as he pulled her away, the side of the train hit his back and he fell too.
Whoa! The boy I had been reading to all this time had saved my sister's life. Maybe I wasn't so ridiculous for having feelings for him. Maybe it was destiny. Then the woman pointed to an elderly lady.
That older woman. I think it's the boy's grandmother. She's been coming here every day waiting for him. We tell her he's in the hospital, but she doesn't remember.
I was so sad to see her waiting there for him. I wanted to tell her what happened. Excuse me, ma'am. Are you waiting for your grandson?
Yes, he's never late.
I don't know what happened, but I decided if she couldn't remember anything, maybe it wasn't a good idea to tell her something so terrible, like he's in a coma and might never wake up. But I couldn't leave her there like that, waiting for him. She had a cane and looked very weak. I'm sure he'll come home soon. Can I help you get home? I walked with her as she told me stories about how kind and wonderful her grandson was.
His name is Oscar. He's always drawing. He takes care of me.
With every word she spoke about him, I was falling more and more in love. But then I realized, oh no! Without him, she had no one to take care of her. After I walked her home, I went to the market and bought a bunch of food and took it to her house, where we both cooked while she told me more stories about him.
I always tell him he needs to meet a girl and have a life of his own. But he says he doesn't have time for girls. He says it's because of his work. But I know it's because he takes care of me every day. But there is one girl he likes a lot. He always draws her. See?
She pointed to a stack of drawings. I looked through them all. They were all of Ragatha waiting at the train station. I couldn't believe it. He was in love with her. My heart broke into a million pieces. The love I felt for him, it was all for nothing. And what was worse, if they both woke up, they would probably end up together, and I would have to watch. Still, I couldn't let his grandmother be alone, with no one to take care of her. So every day I would take the train and find her there waiting for him. And every day we would cook while she told me stories about how wonderful he was. I had to smile, but I wanted to cry. And every night after visiting her, that's exactly what I did. I cried on the train ride home, on the walk, and in my bed. And every day I would get up, go to the hospital, read to my sister, and then read to him. And then one day, I stopped reading and just talked. You know, Oscar, you're still the only boy I've ever talked to. And to be honest, the only boy I've ever loved. When you wake up, everything will be different. I'll miss spending time with you, but I hope we can at least be friends. One night, while I was sleeping, I got a phone call. Hello?
Fantastic news! Your sister woke up and she's doing really well!
I ran to the hospital and found her sitting there eating pudding. She smiled big when she saw me. I hugged her so tight, she begged me to let go. Before we left, I asked the nurse, "Can I come back to see him again?"
I'm sorry, but we don't allow anyone up here except family. I wasn't supposed to let you visit him at all, but I felt so bad.
Oh, I see. Can I say goodbye? She nodded, and I went to Oscar's room. When you wake up, I'll make sure you and my sister meet again. Oh, and don't worry. I'll take care of your grandmother until then. Goodbye, sleeping boy. I asked if Ragatha remembered anything, but she didn't. I heard a boy saved your life when you fell?
Really? I would love to meet him one day.
I'm sure you will. Fate has a way of making things happen. After that, Ragatha was still too hurt to work, so she just lived with me. But I kept seeing Oscar's grandmother every day to make sure she ate and was doing okay. One day, I knocked on his grandmother's door, and when it opened, it wasn't her on the other side. It was Oscar. I am.
Hello! Are you looking for my grandmother?
Yes.
She told me someone was taking care of her while I was sick, but she couldn't remember your name. Thank you.
Then he gave me a big hug, and all the thoughts I was trying to push away about being in love with him came back. He invited me inside, and we all had dinner. And this time, he had done all the cooking, and it was still delicious. While we sat and ate, I realized all the stories his grandmother had told about him were true. He was kind, sweet, funny, Then he asked me to wait while he put her to bed. After, he asked if we could talk outside. I said yes, but to my surprise, instead of going out the door, he went to a ladder that led up to the attic. Wait, why up there?
This is where I go to draw when my grandmother goes to bed, and tonight there will be fireworks.
He went up, and I followed him, even though I hated heights. He led me to a window and stepped out. He sat on the roof, and I sat beside him, looking over the faraway city. The lights twinkled like stars.
So how did you meet my grandmother?
Oh no! I hadn't thought about this part. If I told him the truth, I would have to say that I read to him in the hospital. At the train station. She was always waiting for you. Which wasn't a lie exactly. But now that meant I couldn't even tell him thank you for saving my sister's life. Maybe if I ask him about the accident, it will all come out naturally. But he said he couldn't remember what had happened. I felt so foolish for not telling him the truth, just to save myself from a little embarrassment. All he did was be nice to me. I decided I owed him for saving Ragatha. So even though I would be humiliated and look stupid, I would tell him the truth. But before I could, he said,
I kind of remember a little. There was this girl. I think she fell. I was in love with her.
I know.
You know? How could you know?
I saw your drawing of her. Your grandmother showed me. You were in love with her. That's why you jumped and saved her.
Actually, no. I was in love with her sister.
I couldn't breathe. Did he just say what I think he said? He looked down at the ground and said,
Every Friday, the girl from my drawings and I would get on the same train. Sometimes we talked a little. She said she was meeting her sister, and she started telling me about her, what she was like. She was cool and funny, and when she would get off, her sister would meet her. And I guess it was love at first sight, like we were meant to be. Sorry, I must sound stupid.
Good thing he wasn't looking at me. Or maybe he would have seen the hearts in my eyes. Why did you draw her sister and not the girl you liked?
I only saw her for a few seconds every day, but I always tried.
Then he showed me his book of drawings, and all the way in the back, there were drawings of parts of a girl. Never the full picture since he drew from memory but never saw her fully. It was me! I couldn't believe it!
After the accident, I can't remember what they looked like. I went to the station today, but I didn't see anyone who could have been her or her sister. I guess I'll never see her again.
Actually, you're looking at her right now. He turned to me, confused, and then his eyes lit up as he recognized me.
But how? I don't understand.
I put my hand on his and kissed him. Just then, the sky exploded with fireworks. I pulled away and looked into his eyes. It's a little complicated. Let's just say I took care of you.